You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon, Braves country. As these Braves country todays, we know that they really difficult to maneuver because we're going throughout the season. We all have jobs trying to get things done, and we also got the game tonight. But today's 1 o'clock Eastern. If you didn't see it live, it changes. I'm not sure when we're going to do the next one. It will probably be Monday afternoon, I believe. I think Monday afternoon, if everything is right. I think we're going to do Monday afternoon. Look, we do these right after one series and right before another. There's no point of worrying about the Cincinnati game. There's just one game on Monday, so we'll probably do it before the Cincinnati game, probably usually around 3:30, 4 o'clock. We'll have it up, and we're on YouTube, and we're also over on Facebook Live. We're doing the Facebook Live. Try to get some people to come over to our YouTube account. I think a lot of people on the Facebook don't know that even though they see the 19,000 or whatever it is followers we have, they don't realize when we're doing these games, when they pop up on your Facebook screen, that we actually have a ton of people in the YouTube link, which is where we want everybody to go to keep everyone all under one roof. But we'll see people pop in and out of the Facebook chat, but I think a lot of them don't realize that that's going on over in YouTube. And we don't have time to really cross-promote whatnot during the game because we're bringing you the game. But we see Dion in the chat. We've got Garrett. Garrett's headed to the golf course. You got to love that. Got to love that. Go to the golf course on a Friday. And, of course, this show, what we do is we take a look at the series we just completed and we look at the next one. So, once again, on Monday, I think we'll probably get somewhere around 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood. We'll probably shoot for 3:30, and sometimes we run a little late. It all depends on when I can get to the studio. But we will be recapping the Toronto series at that point and looking ahead to the Washington series. We'll also take a little quick look at the Cincinnati game when we have that information in on that. So real quick, let's go ahead and start off with the Colorado series. And look, it started off great, right? We loved it. It started off great. And we go out and we get the first two wins. But let's be honest, even with those two wins, we didn't look outstanding offensively. Offensively, we were kind of a disaster. And we have been for quite some time. And this is a team that honestly, we're going to have to go out there and gut out these wins. I think there's going to be nights where the offense does come into play and the offense will carry us, but they're going to be few and far between. Right now, the Atlanta Braves are 76 and 64. So big picture, what that means is that we are 48 games into the season, which means we have 24 games left. That ain't a lot. By the way, also, we only have 2 days off left of those 24 games. So you got to realize how you're going to be trying to manipulate your bullpen more than anything else because you don't have the extra days off to get ready. Now, that's the worst part of the news. The best part of the news is the team that is right behind us, the New York Mets, they have a much more difficult road to hoe than what we do. But you still got to win the games in front of you. And look, I'm trying to spit it whatever you want to say and try to put up the cherry on top. We needed to sweep Colorado. These are these games that we need to. The Mets went out and swept the Red Sox, who are a much better baseball team at home this week. And we played with our food on Thursday night and dropped the third game of the series. And I'm going to say this, but this was not the reason why we lost by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm sick and tired of seeing Luke Jackson being put into that bullpen. Coming out of that bullpen, put it into a game. I don't care what you have to do. If it means you have to DFA him, if it means you have to come up with the ghost IL, whatever the hell you have to do, he can't be involved in these close games anymore because he always spits the bit. He always spits the bit, and we cannot afford it any longer. Now, with that being said, was that Luke's fault that we lost? Of course not. We scored one damn run against Austin Gomber, who came in with a pretty high ERA, and a Colorado bullpen that was terrible. Once again, this is maddening to me. And they want to put it all on the batters. But at some point, you've got to point to the personnel or the folks that are running the organization. Why in the world is Luke Jackson in those games at that time? That's number one. But then the other thing, why is it our offense never seems to realize that they can control how deep that pitcher gets? If they go out there, they give good at-bats, they fight off the at-bats, but you have guys, and we're talking about from the top of the order to the bottom of the order. Michael Harris II, 3 games in a row swung at the first pitch. You think these pitchers in the coaching staffs that are definitely out coaching us at this point, you think they don't know this? That he's trying to ambush a fastball? Well, they put a fastball on him, and they put it just a little high, a little wide, and he's popping them up. You usually see a much better at bat his second, his third at bat, okay. But what is going on? What's the disconnect from the coaching staff to the batters where they're not relaying the message, which should be you're a leadoff hitter, whoever it is, whether it's Whit Merrifield, although I won't get on to him because he's done a much better job at the leadoff spot. But whether it's Whit Merrifield, whether it's Michael Harris, whoever's up there, that you set the tone, especially at the beginning of the game. And if you can get one of the biggest reasons why a leadoff hitter looks at pitches is so that all the other guys coming up get an idea of what the guy looks like to set the tone of the game. But also, if you go out there and you're a one pitch out, immediately the next guy coming up, usually Jorge Soler, now he feels like he should probably take a pitch or two. So now he's starting down low, down in the count, 0-1, 0-2, whatever. And if Jorge Soler ends up getting an 0-1 pitch and he goes, well, I can't sit here and do this all night long for good enough reasons, he swings and pops one out. Then you got 3 pitches in, and now Ozuna feels like he's got to eat some pitches because we don't want to. We had a 4-pitch inning in the 3rd inning, I believe it was last night. We had 3 consecutive innings where their starting pitcher, Austin Gomber, who is not Sandy Koufax, but you would have thought he was last night. We had 3 consecutive innings where we didn't get double-digit pitches from the opposing pitcher. And we're talking about 3 consecutive innings. Not just that one weird inning where there's a 5 or 6 pitch inning, 7, 8, whatever, what have you. It happens. 3 consecutive. I think the total in those 3 innings, I don't even think it was 20. I'm trying to go off of memory right here, but I think it was right at 20. If it was 20, it was barely 20. It's 2021, but I want to say it was 19 pitches in those 3 innings. Like I said, I might be off by a pitch or two. Not the point. The point is, you do that, you're setting the guy up for a complete game. So last night, and obviously we're always going to react to the night before because it's the one that's most on our mind. So it always feels better when you win the last game of the series and you won the series as opposed to winning the first 2 and you drop one. I get that. It's human nature. But the pitching staff there are fans out there that think that it's the pitcher's fault that these Braves aren't winning these games. Man, when you give up only 3 earned runs at home, you win those games. Now, once again, I'm not a fan of Luke Jackson being in the games anymore when the game's on the line. If you're going to have him on the roster, and I say that you don't even have that luxury because the offense has been so anemic that every game's counting, every inning's counting. You can't afford to have a guy go out there and just eat innings like we did last night with Luke Jackson. But even in the games that we've won in the series, 3-0, 5-2, and then lose 3-1. So we scored 9 runs in 3 games at home against one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball. And, Gomber goes out there, and you would have thought that Gomber was the guy sitting there with the ERA right at 2 going into the game. Not Raylo. It's really pathetic when you see Austin Gomber. And I don't want to beat that kid up because, look, tough circumstances. He calls Rockies Coors Field his home. But the guy's got an ERA of 4.50 even with the 8 innings. He goes on 8 innings, 92 pitches, 6 strikeouts, 5 hits. That may be the worst offensive performance of the entire season, and I'm even counting the shutouts. And we've had way too many of those. But I'm even counting the shutouts because the shutouts, most of the time, are going up against pretty darn good pitchers. And then when you top off the fact that you're needing the win, you need to get the W, you need to have a full game lead on the Mets. Instead, we go into today 76 and 64 in a flat-footed tie with the Mets. We're 2.5 back of the Diamondbacks, 3 back of the Padres. But I can't even get concerned with catching the Padres or the Diamondbacks because it's going to be very hard to get scalding hot down the stretch and outplay them, even though they are coming down to earth, because the offense has got to click a hell of a lot more. We're hoping that Whit Merrifield is ready to roll today. We were told that he probably would be. If you're listening this on the replay after they've given the lineups, obviously we know more now than we did when we did the show live here on Facebook Live and on the Braves Country Radio YouTube. But the biggest concern with this team right now, it's not the pitching. It is absolutely 100% the offense. It's the lackluster. There are these at-bats that they're giving away. I'll tell you something else that I'm getting annoyed with. The Orlando Arcia junk, where every time he gets out, he's slamming the bat down. That is not going to help you one bit in getting on base. He's doing it strictly for dramatics. And he just recently started doing that. He's doing it with almost every out. Like he's trying to convince you. It used to drive me nuts what Paul O'Neill would do. Like he's trying to convince you that he should have gotten on, but gosh darn it, things just didn't go right. I'm unlucky. I don't buy into any of those expected stats ever. People love to lean on those. Expected stats are fables. They try to tell you, well, if his exit velocity this, exit velocity that the ball was hit really hard. It should have fell. Not if you hit it in the teeth of the defense. You know what the defense is when you first come up there. So if they're playing you to pull and you hammer one down to the third base line, but it's right into the glove of the third baseman who's standing there, doesn't have to move. That's not, oh, man, that's bad. Like, no, it's not. It's terrible approach at the plate. So I don't even get into Garrett says the offense is so trash. Yeah, it is. It's mind-boggling because it was so good last year. And, yes, we had the injury to Acuna. I get it. And, yes, we've had injuries to Riley and Ozzie. But let's not make like that before any of those injuries occurred that this offense was rolling. His offense has been terrible. Since at the end of April, this offense is one of the worst in baseball. And yeah, we'll have a nighter here where we go out and explode for 7 runs, 6 runs. And you're like, all right, this is what I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. We played Philadelphia. Won't go back into that series, but after the game that Snicker choked away on the Thursday night game, we come out and we scored 7. So we scored 4 and then 7 in Philadelphia back-to-back nights against good pitching, and you're like, all right, maybe they're starting to come alive. And this is after they'd gone into Minnesota and scored 10, 8, and 5 respectively. So you're really starting to feel like, all right, here we go. We're getting it going. And then what do they follow it up with? Being shut out, scoring 2 runs in 11 innings, couldn't get an extra run anywhere in extra innings. We score 3 against Colorado and Kyle Freeland, who is a disaster. Score 5 against Colorado in Blaylock. Okay, that looked pretty good, but then again, this is a young kid he's literally, I don't even know if the kid's shaving. And you're going, all right, well, wasn't pretty, but we've gotten these wins, and then they go out and they get the 1 run. The 1 run. And the 1 run came in the first inning. 8 innings of nothing. And at some point, they've got to point to Seitzer. And for that matter, the leadership of the clubhouse, which falls on Snicker, because if you're not happy with what your hitting coach is doing, you go and you say something to work on the adjustments. Evidently, they're just letting it go by. They're letting game after game after game, week after week, month after month of doesn't appear to be any real approach at the plate. It is, which is maddening because every team in Major League Baseball nowadays has meetings right before a series, and this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're looking for, and this is what we're trying to get accomplished. And yet they'll go in, and by the second or third game, like you might see it in the first game, but by the second or third game, they've gone right back to their ways. They're losing ways of, and though they might be getting a win, it's a loser mentality from the offense of, I'm just going to look for a fastball and try to ambush at the beginning of the. That's Little League. That is Little League mentality. So once again, hopefully we start getting some of these guys back and we start getting better approaches. But I'm not sold that Seitzer is this great offensive coach. I'm sold that he caught lightning in a bottle last year and the offense broke all kinds of records, and they thought they could do the same thing that they did last year and have it equate this year. All those guys had career years last year. And they kind of fed off each other, right? But we talked about it last year when they were blowing it up. It used to drive me nuts because we weren't doing anything to eat pitches. Get into that bullpen early, going deep on the pitch count on the starting pitcher. You go all the way back to the 1990s. The New York Yankees, for all the things you think that they did to win, spend money, outspend their competition, what the New York Yankees did in the late 90s, better than anybody else in baseball, is they worked the count and they got into your bullpen early. And they knew that their bullpen could outdo your bullpen, so let's go. Anyways, I did think about this. The only positive of this entire thing is you get in the playoffs, they're usually low-scoring games, fights, grinds. Well, the Braves are used to doing that all year long, so maybe advantage Atlanta, but we've got to get to the playoffs. We've got to get to the playoffs. So, putting that aside, all in all, I'm going to give the previous series on the Braves-Rockies a C. Normally, if you win the series, I'm going to give you a B, but you're at home against the Colorado Rockies. Let's call a spade a spade. Rockies are terrible. And to not only get 2 of the 3 wins, but also for the offense just being just awful, I got to go with that. The next thing I would say with this is we go into the Toronto series, and the Mets, by the way, at the same time, the New York Mets are going to be playing the Cincinnati Reds, and they are at home in New York. So we're at home, they're at home. And we'll talk about the Mets here in a second. more on their upcoming schedule. But the Mets are at home against Cincinnati, and they've got Manaea, Quintana, and Severino going up against Cruz. They have not listed a starter for tomorrow, and Aguilar. It's kind of a bad deal for the Braves who want the Reds to do as well as possible. They're not going to see the better pitchers. The Reds do have a couple of good starting pitchers. The New York Mets are going to dodge them. But we're just hoping. I'm hoping Cincinnati can win at least one of those series. That's the hope. The Mets have swept Boston. They swept the White Sox. And before that, they won 2 of 3 versus Arizona in Arizona. By the way, they swept the White Sox in Chicago. And they split in San Diego. So the New York Mets, not only have they won 7 in a row, in 8 of their last 9, they've won 9 of their last 11, and 8 of those games were on the road. Braves have got to show up in a big way and take care of the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays, they're a much more difficult foe than Cincinnati is these days. Cincinnati's kind of packed it in. And the Blue Jays, we're going to get Gausman, but you don't love that. He's coming with a 4 ERA, but he's got nasty stuff. Most Braves fans will remember Kevin Gausman. He was with Atlanta just before this run really took off. He was with the Braves before he signed the free agent deal. Was actually traded out to San Francisco and then signed a free agent deal with Toronto. But in the 3-game series that we've got coming up, it's Max Fried tonight versus Gausman. And though Gausman's a good starting pitcher, I don't give a damn. We're at home. We should have the advantage. Same thing tomorrow night. Barrios, pretty good starting pitcher. I don't give a damn. We've got Schwellenbach and we're at home. We should have the advantage. The offense needs to go out there and put some crooked numbers up. This 1 run here and then 4 or 5 innings and no runs is just getting ridiculous. It's past ridiculous. And then we got Chris Sale on Sunday, and we definitely have the advantage there with Rodriguez on the mound for Toronto. But this isn't really a series that I'm going to be okay. Look, I'll take a 2 out of 3, but I'm getting greedy at this point, and I want to sweep. Mainly because the Mets continue to win. And look, they're a team that feels like they're playing with house money. The pressure's really more on the Braves, and the Braves are starting to crack. You can see it at the plate with some of these batters. They're grinding the bat handle into sawdust. They got to go out there with a relaxed approach, but more than anything else, sitting dead red, if you get one right in your wheelhouse, I get it. Swing early. That's fine. But we're getting guys swinging at fastballs high and barely touching the zone. Don't swing at a pitcher's pitch before you have 2 strikes. That should be the message to this offense. Get your pitch. And until you get your pitch, make that pitcher work. Once you get the 2 strikes, defend the plate and quit getting these. We've had way too many backward Ks. Way too many backward Ks. And it's up and down the lineup. Yeah, I'm not going to kill one person over this because it's up and down the lineup. But we've got that. And then real quick, I'm going to go over the Cincinnati game because you might as well. It's just one game. Although we'll probably Monday's show will be around 3:30, so we'll have a chance to react. But it's Charlie Morton versus Martinez. So what you're looking at in the next week, what the Braves have, and this is the area of the schedule where you should be making some room for yourself. Instead, we've fallen back down to the Mets because the Mets have been playing unbelievable. And look, you got to tip your cap to them. There are other years where the New York Mets have been absolutely floundering, and you run away with the division, or you run away with it's been the division the last 6 years, but the Mets are out there winning 4 out of 10. We're winning 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and the gap is getting wider and wider. This year, it's not the case. I won't say they've run us down, but they've outplayed us over the last month. And they've outplayed us over the last 2 or 3 months. But you have the opportunity for the next 4 games are against teams, 2 different teams. Neither one of them are sniffing the playoffs. You got to get the wins. Then we go a 2-game series in Washington, and they have really played us hard, played us well. And then we turn around, we come back home after a day off on Thursday. It's one of our few days off. We only have one other day off the rest of the way. We come home for a 4-game series against the Dodgers, and you know that's going to take a lot out of us. And then we go on the road for 6, Reds and Marlins. And it's always difficult to win on the road. And then we'll finish the whole damn thing off after our last day off. Tuesday, September 24th, we're at home against the New York Metropolitans. And then we finish it off against the Kansas City Royals. Hopefully the Kansas City Royals, because, by the way, if you look at the American League, it's one of the reasons why I keep looking at the American League wild card. Not that we have a dog in that hunt. The Kansas City Royals are 5 games in front of their closest team for the wild card. We want the Royals to cruise. So when they come in to Atlanta for that final 3-game game of the season, they're getting ready for the playoffs. They don't give a damn about the outcome of those games. That's what we want. Because they'll be getting ready to play on that Tuesday night, and we may need to win 1 or 2, or hell, maybe we might need to win all 3 of those games if we don't play well. The other thing is with that with the Mets series, and then we're going to get out of your hair. Looking at the big picture on this, the Mets and the Braves, if it comes down to a tie, there will be no other tiebreaker other than head-to-head because we're playing each other 13 times this year. Now, they no longer do the thing in baseball for people who are older fans and remember the one-game play-in, all that is gone. They don't do it anymore. Ever since they expanded the playoffs, it's going to come down to the tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head. And if it's just the Braves and the Mets, head-to-head, that 3-game series in Atlanta to finish the season, that's going to decide it. Because right now, we have beaten New York 5 times. They have beaten the Braves 5 times. So we're sitting at 5-5. And we go into that 3-game series the final week of the season, it could have a playoff-type atmosphere because you're winning, you're in. You're winning, you're in. Because let's say you go into that – let's just say we go into that series and we're tied. We're flat-footed tie, right? And we take 2 of 3 from the Mets, you're really 2 games up with 3 games to go. Because they're going to go to the tiebreaker. That's a long way from now. We got to win the games in front of us. But while that's going on, while all the games I just told you, realize this is where it's going to get a little difficult for the Mets. After this 3-game homestand against Cincinnati, they're going to go to Toronto. And they're going to go up against 3 of their better starters. They're going up against Bassett on Monday. Bowden Francis, if you haven't paid attention to him, he has been lights out like the last month out of nowhere. Bowden Francis came back up from the minors for Toronto recently, and he had really been struggling to find his role, whether he's a starter or reliever or whatever. Anyways, he has been lights out since he's come back, so they got to face Bassett, who's been really good, and you know he's going to want to beat New York just because he was an ex-Met. They didn't offer him a contract, all that stuff. Bassett, Francis, and then they will face Gausman. So that is their early part next week, and then they go to Philly for 3. They come home against Washington for 3, and then they get 4 more at home against Philadelphia. Philadelphia's had their numbers. They've had their number. The Phillies, strangely enough, mid to September to, there's a 10-day stretch there where they play them 7 times, 3 in New York, 3 in Philly, 4 in New York. We become big Philly fans because we're not winning the division. Put that away. Put it away. The division is gone. You can't play with your food like we have all year long. Think you're going to win the division. But we become huge Philly fans Friday, September 13th, so a week from today, until Sunday, September 22nd, 2 days before that Atlanta series. 2 days before that Atlanta series. So for 10 games, 10 days, the Mets will play the Phillies 7 times, and that is probably going to decide whether they – because if they go through that and they beat the tar out of Philadelphia and come into Atlanta, they're going to be strutting. But if they do what I think they'll probably do against Philadelphia, which is – and by the way, they could be looking ahead in that Toronto series during Philadelphia. But you're talking about a tough stretch with the Mets – where, let me double check this. I don't believe they, no, they don't have a day off at all until the game before Atlanta. But once again, if you're just joining us, the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets are tied at 5 games apiece. They have a 3-game series in Atlanta to finish off the week. They'll still each have to play one more 3-game series. By the way, the Mets go to Milwaukee. The Braves host a Kansas City team that has probably got everything sewn away by that time. Now, Milwaukee will have won the division as well, but Milwaukee's been through this. They're not going to want to get – they might put their Bobos out on the Sunday game, the final game of the season, but I expect the Friday and Saturday game for them to put their best foot forward. So there you have it. We are playing – our pitching has been elite all year long, no matter what people try to tell you or what fans try to tell you. The fans that don't realize how good the pitching has been aren't really following the game day in and day out. They're just looking at box scores. They're seeing one pitch here, one pitch there, or they tune in for one game. But I will not try to defend Luke Jackson. Luke Jackson has been terrible, and he doesn't give you any. I would like to see them give anyone else a chance, whether it's bringing A.J. Smith-Shawver in from the bullpen. A number of other guys that you can go. We won't do a deep dive on that. But anybody. Luke Jackson is going up there, and he's getting behind in counts, and that's what led to the run last night. It's not why we lost the game. But once again, he has been awful, and he'll always be a made man because of the 2021 championship. But sometimes – you can't come home again, and you're starting to wonder about Soler because he's been pitiful as well. I still believe that Soler can get into his groove. Soler still has the swing. Seemed like Soler was starting to get it together when he had the injury. But Luke Jackson, I don't want to see him again. Not in 2024. You want to bring him back next year and he prove himself, whatever. But 2024 ought to be a no-Luke zone. And speaking of no Luke, hopefully Merrifield is back tonight. If he's not, the offense, I think he's a big reason why that offense moves when it does move, and I'd like to see him higher up in the order. Batting him down at the bottom is just ridiculous at this point. All what we just talked about a second ago about giving professional at-bats and eating, Whit Merrifield does that. That's why he should be at the top of the order. Have a great one, Braves Country. We'll see you tonight. If you missed the show, you can always come back and watch it, as we'll put it on to public on the YouTube channel. And, of course, we'll play the audio right before the game tonight. 7:20 first pitch. We always come on the air live on the YouTube channel, Braves Country Radio, 1 hour before first pitch, basically for folks to shoot the bull and talk about whatever they want to talk about, whether it's a game or whatever. So 6:20 will come on the air, 7:20 first pitch, and we will replay this. Y'all have a good one.
Like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the man. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam, ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. A banger, and she's gone, baby.
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Green. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
You're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
Pound of beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're set to bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off for the Toronto Blue Jays, the designated hitter, George Springer. 19 home runs, 55 RBI, 14 stolen bases, batting .219. Batting second, center fielder, Dalton Varsho. 18 home runs, 58 RBI, 10 stolen bases, batting .218. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is batting third and playing first. 28 home runs, 92 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .328. Kirk is behind home plate and batting cleanup. 5 home runs, 43 RBI, batting .244. Clement is at third and batting fifth. 11 home runs, 46 RBI, 11 stolen bases, batting .260. Wagner is manning second base with 2 home runs, 9 RBI, batting .328. Jimenez, the shortstop, is batting seventh with a .234 average, 15 RBI, 4 home runs. Schneider is in left field with 10 home runs, 37 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .195. And Lukes is in right field with 11 at-bats, 5 for 11 on the year, a .455 average. He has 2 RBI. On the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays, it's Kevin Gausman. He's 12-10 with a .407 ERA. A 1.23 whip, 157 innings pitched, 146 hits allowed, 145 strikeouts. He's walked 47 and given up 20 home runs. He'll be going head-to-head with Max Fried. Mad Max is 8-8 with a .352 ERA at a 1.21 whip. 140 innings pitched, 120 hits allowed, 130 strikeouts, 50 walks, 12 home runs served. Backing up Mad Max in the bottom of the first inning and patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Michael Harris II. 9 home runs, 32 RBI, 8 stolen bases, batting .248. Whit Merrifield is batting second, playing second. Back in the lineup after getting hit in the head with the pitch versus Colorado on Tuesday night. He has 4 home runs, 14 RBI, 16 stolen bases, batting .219. Batting third, the designated hitter, Marcell Ozuna. 37 home runs, 98 RBI, a .307 average. Batting cleanup and playing first, it's Matt Olson. 25 home runs, 78 RBI, a .231 average. Batting fifth and playing right field, it's Jorge Soler with 17 home runs and 53 RBI. He has a stolen base and a .229 average. Batting sixth behind home plate, Travis d'Arnaud. .245 clip with 14 home runs, 46 RBI, 1 stolen base. Jared Kelenic is in left field and batting seventh. 14 homers, 42 RBI, a .232 average, and 6 stolen bases. Batting eighth, playing short, it's Orlando Arcia. A .224 average with 15 home runs, 41 RBI, 2 stolen bases. And Gio Urshela is at third and batting ninth. He has 5 home runs and a .249 average with 41 RBI. Calling balls and strikes tonight behind home plate, it's Bill Miller. Your first base umpire, Malachi Moore. Second base will be manned by Doug Eddings, and down the third base line, it's Emil Jimenez. Game time temperatures here at Truist Park are expected to be in the mid-70s, going down in the low 70s by game's end. Your Atlanta Braves come in 12 games over 500 at 76-64, 38-29 at home, while the Toronto Blue Jays are 67-74, 33-39 on the road. Atlanta comes in minus 175 on the money line. The over-under is 7.5. Run line minus 1.5 at plus 125. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Blue Jays Game one of a 3-game set. Tonight at 7:20, tomorrow night at 7:20, the afternoon tilt on Sunday. Everyone in the Atlanta Braves lineup has seen Gausman before, except for Harris and Ozuna. We'll go with Whit Merrifield, who's 2 for 2 lifetime against Kevin Gausman, the ex-Atlanta Brave. We're taking the ice cream man to click. The Atlanta Braves to win this one. Maybe wake up the bats a little bit at 6-2. On the other side, only 2 hitters have ever seen Max Fried. Vlad is 1 for 5. Varsho 1 for 1. Travis behind the plate. We got the alfalfa emoji kicking in the chat, along with the Mad Max. Fried on the mound. It's time to warm up those chop arms, Country Club, Braves Country. Get your game face on. New series is we start toe-to-toe with the New York Mets in a 22-game sprint to October.
Get this bus moving.
Stop.
Come back.
Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves Country. Set for what should be a really fun series. You got a lot of stars on the Toronto side, so we do hope that we get a really fun series going on here, and hopefully we get the series win. We want the sweep, obviously, but at least get the win, as the Mets are going to be at home against Cincinnati. We're getting set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Let's go ahead and scroll through and see who we got here in the roll call. Good evening, Daryl. Good evening, Country Club member Brian Andrews. Good evening, The Bee. Good evening, Travis. Good evening, D, Gary, Justin, Velvet. Good to see you. Who else we got here? Steven. Good to see you. Brandon. Mark, happy birthday. Billy, Country Club member. Good to see you. Hope everyone's enjoying their Friday night. John. Good to see you back. Carrie, don't tell me you're going to try to your best. That's loser talk. Sweep the Mets. Who else do we have here? Merrick, Country Club member. Good to see you. David S., Country Club member. Edward Spry, Country Club member. Good to see everybody in the chat. I think I've gotten everybody. If I missed anybody, just jump back in. We'll try to squeeze them back in as we go, as we're just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Max Fried and the Atlanta Braves are wearing their home reds. Friday night home reds with the white pants. As Max Fried is getting set with the first pitch on the way. Yes, sir. It is baseball time in Braves Country. Ball is scooped up after a hit into short, scooped up by Arcia. Had a problem with the handle, corralled it, fires it to first, one away. As soon as we get the 3D lined up on the other screen. We'll bring it back over. Braves, nothing. Blue Jays, nothing. First pitch on the way to Varsho is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Down and away. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Max Fried, who has struggled with left-handers this year, which is really strange. The 1-1 swung on, fouled straight back, 1-2. He's got an ERA up near 6 for left-handers this year, which is why you see some left-handers in the lineup tonight for Toronto. They are well aware of that. The 1-2 brings it. Cutter down and away, 2-2. Go ahead and smash that like if you can, and let's get that sign down early tonight. The 2-2 for Max in the dirt. Did he go around? Looked like he held up. So now a full count for Max. Braves nothing. Blue Jays nothing. The 6th pitch of the at-bat. Caught, looking strike. Wow. What? 92 miles an hour right down the pipe and a blown call already by Bill Miller. Wow, what a bad call. He is off to a terrible start. It was right down the center of the plate at the very top of the zone, and Bill Miller blew it. Big Bill Miller bends back over behind Darnode. Fried flips it over to first. 1 down. Not a peep from the dugout on the Brave side. Lefty, righty matchup. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting .328. Pitch on the way. 94 right down the pipe. It's 1-0. 28 home runs on the year. 92 RBI. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Up top, misses high, 1-1. 1-1 count. Unbelievably bad call by Bill Miller. That's why I was in the middle of the strikeout call, because it was definitely a strike. It's unbelievable how bad that pitch was. That call was. The 1-1 swung on, popped back foul, 1-2. Bill Miller, not one of our favorite umps. He's been known to squeeze the zone, but normally not that bad. I mean, that's a rookie mistake, and Big Boy Miller has been around way too long to be a rookie. A 1-2 count. Maybe the humidity in Atlanta is getting to him. Get him a stool back there so he can see right. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the 4-seam on the inside, 2 away. Good pitch. You just hate that, because if someone gets into one right here, it's not a one-run shot, it's a 2-run shot. Everything's so critical right now. Max Fried will come back set. The first pitch on the way. 93 down the cut. It's 0-1. Captain Kirk, tonight's hind catcher, Alejandro Kirk, standing in with a .244 average, 5 home runs, 43 RBI. He's an all-star last year. Almost traded to the Red Sox. There was a lot of rumors. The 0-1 swung on, foul back, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. If they're going to squeeze the batters, or the pitchers, excuse me, I want the same for when we're at bat, because it seems like we don't get it both ways. Whit Merrifield is in the lineup, back in the lineup tonight after getting hit in the head the other night. He's standing out there at second base. The 0-2. Curveball. Caught, looking, strike 3. Got him with the teardrop on the outer edge, and that'll end the inning. Should have been 2 strikeouts, but instead technically he struck out 3, but we only gets credit for 2. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
If I ever say, do you want me to be honest? You might want to just say no.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball.
Excuse me, what the hell's going on out here? Well, Nick's scared because his eyelids are jammed and his old man's here. We need a live rooster? We need a live rooster to take the curse off Jose's glove, and nobody seems to know what to get Millie or Jimmy for their wedding present.
Today we're going to talk about crazy stats. BJ and Justin Upton both hit their 99th career home runs on the same day, July 20th, 2012. They would follow that up with their 100th career home run on the same day, August 3rd. In between the home runs, they both had 7 hits, 6 singles, and an extra base hit.
I love watching closely what I think is this psychological duel between the pitcher and the batter, as well as a physical duel, knowing that each one is anticipating what the other one is going to do, and that one of them is going to win, one is going to lose. I mean, that's what's so wonderful about it. I mean, people who don't understand baseball think about, well, what is it, these 9 guys on the field? If you love it at that moment, it's just as exciting as a heavyweight boxing match. These 2 people are dueling each other, and with all of their memory of the other person, and the great pitchers and the great batters have studied the other person. That's what's so wonderful.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Michael Harris, the second. Right below the knees. For a ball, it's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Harris batting .248 on the year. 9 home runs. The 1-0. Swung on, sliced over into center field. That's going to get through for a base hit. And your Atlanta Braves. 1 on, nobody out to start the game. That magic sound was for Lenny. Welcome to the Country Club. Gifted via Billy. And also welcome Football 12 via the Beeve to the Country Club. First pitch on the way to Whit Merrifield. Right there at the knees for a strike zone. The 0-1 to Merrifield as we go to sync this up. Kicks and fires. Just misses on the outside edge. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Just misses outside, ball 2, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. That one misses. Sinker down below the knees. 3-1. So a 3-1 count from Gausman. Kicks and fires. Lines it out to right center field. It'll be an F9 in your scorecard. 1 away. I think we're a tad in front of it, so we're going to slow it down for a second. ball was dropped, by the way, out there by Varsho, but they called it an out, and then he dropped it. And it did look like he made the catch. He just didn't transfer. There used to be the rule in force that you had to transfer it from your glove to your hand, but it doesn't seem like they do that anymore. That'll bring Marcell Ozuna to the plate. Marcell, 307 average, up there for the Triple Crown. First pitch on the way is outside. Runner goes. Harris caught stealing with the hand in the cookie jar. 2 down. Harris is still sitting there on the base. He thinks maybe he was safe. See if they want to challenge it. It's close. It's really close. I'd like to see a slowdown. Oh, it's so close. Can't see his hand behind the defender's leg. Let's see if this is a better angle. I think it's going to be hard to overturn. I don't know if they want to waste their... They will not challenge. The 1-0 to Ozuna. Swung on. That ball's rifled into left field. That's going to get through for a base hit. Hard hit ball to the left side. It should be a single. That ball was smoked. Jimenez trying to backhand. That ball got absolutely scorched. You hate that Harris ran us out of a threat here, but 1 on, 2 out. First pitch on the way to Olsen is right there at the knees. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Gausman kicks and fires. Right there. 1-1. So 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Blue Jays nothing. The 1-1, swing and a miss, 95 mile an hour, 1-2. The 1-2, Gausman brings it. Splitter down, 2-2. Game 1 of a 3-game set. Your Atlanta Braves, 7:20 tonight, first pitch. 7:20 tomorrow night, first pitch. The 2-2. Down below the knees. Full count. So a full count. Ozuna will be running on the pitch. Payoff pitch with 2 outs. Ozuna goes. Swing, pops it up underneath. Can of corn. High in the sky. Lazy fly ball. Waiting underneath it is Varsho, and that'll end the inning. Well, it started off great, but Harris gets run out of the inning, and Olsen can't come through. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. The San Francisco Giants were very close to becoming the Toronto Giants. In 1976, Giants owner Horace Stoneham sold the team to a group of companies in Toronto. The Toronto Giants were set to debut later that year, but a U.S. court stopped the deal. After hearing the news, a man named Bob Lurie bought the Giants and kept them in San Francisco.
What's the best part of being a Mets fan? To be honest with you, like the character development, it really builds you for the rest of your life because it's such a miserable franchise. A lot of peaks and valleys with this team. So if that's the best part, what's the worst part? Probably May through September.
Myers bringing it. And the pitch is hit in the air. Foul off first. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Bell, left field, way back. Blue Jays win it. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
On August 2nd, 1907, I encountered the most on a ball field. He was only a rookie, and we licked our lips as we warmed up. Evidently, manager Pongo Joe Cantillon had picked a rube out of the cornfield of the deepest bushes to pitch against us. He was a tall, shambling galoot, with arms so long they hung far out of his sleeves and with a sidearm delivery that looked unimpressive at first glance. One of the tigers imitated a cow mooing, and we hollered, "Get the pitchfork ready, Joe. Your hayseed's on the way back to the barn." The time I faced him, I watched him take that easy wind-up, and then something went past that made me flinch. The thing just hissed with danger. We couldn't touch him. Every one of us knew we'd met the most powerful arm ever turned loose in a ballpark. Ty Cobb.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way. Rolled foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty-righty matchup. Clement batting .260. Max kicks and fires. Swung on, that ball's rifled up the middle, in between his legs, through the wicket and into center field. So 1 on, nobody out. Max Fried digs in, lefty-lefty matchup. Wagner the batter. First pitch. Down and in for a ball, it's 1-0. The 1-0, kicks and fires. Swing, listed into left field. Drifting back, making the catch. F7 in your scorecard, 1 away. One down. Trying to fix the audio problems. It's really difficult to do it in the middle of a broadcast, but we'll see what happens. It is what it is. Fried now to face Jimenez. Jimenez takes a curveball inside, 0-1. We do have bad weather in the area. I don't know if that's got anything to do with whatever's going on. But anyways, Leo Jimenez batting .234, 4 home runs, 15 RBI, 721 OPS. The 1-1. One to Jimenez, runner on first, 1 out. Brings it. 95, misses inside, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Kicks and brings it. Swing. That ball is chopped and gets away. The runner goes down to second, and it will be a wild pitch. Ball bounced right in front of Travis. I'm going to try to switch microphones, so I'll just put the chop on for y'all. Hold tight. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, y'all. Hopefully that fixed it. If not, we'll just have to ride with it for a minute because the game's in progress. Not like I can tell them to pause the game. First pitch on the way to Jorge Soler is right there at the knees. It's 0-1. I think it's the application we're using. I think it's having a glitch. It sounds clearer now, but I don't know if it's going to stay that way. So the 0-1 right there on the outer edge. 1-1. 0-2, excuse me. So an 0-2 count, trying to get my bearings back under me as I'm a little sidetracked after the audio issues. Braves nothing, Blue Jays nothing, bottom of the second inning. The 0-2, 95-mile-an-hour fastball swung on and fouled straight back. We'll do it again. Gausman is at 18 pitches. I see everyone says it sounds good. I hope that fixed, but I really don't know if that was a temporary or if the application will have a problem again. So the 0-2 from Gausman. Soler digs in. Pitch misses low, 1-2. The 1-2. Pitch clock winding down. Gausman brings it. 87-mile-an-hour splitter. Now, what you'll see with Gausman tonight, he leans really on two pitches. 51% of the time, you're going to see the four-seam fastball, and 32% of the time, the splitter. So a 2-2 count, down and away. Trying to line up and see if we are just about where we need to be. A full count to Soler. Gausman kicks and fires. Inside, ball 4. So he'll head on down to first in Atlanta Braves. Get the leadoff runner on once again. What you're going to notice tonight, I think we figured out what the connection was. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is right there on the outer edge, misses for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 to d'Arnaud, batting .245, 14 home runs on the year. Runner on first, nobody out. Gausman kicks and fires. Pitch right there at the bottom of the zone. Might have missed a bit. 1-1. 1-1 count. You notice Jorge Soler is now batting in the 5th spot. It's kind of funny we brought that up on Braves Country today, and away we go. The 1-1, slice foul, 1-2. He's just hitting just terribly in the last several games, but I don't want him so far down because he is still a threat. Pitchers are still concerned about him, and I like the idea of having Ozuna, Olsen, and Soler, good 3 heavy hitters back to back to back. The 1-2 down and in, 2-2. And I love the idea that they're rewarding Whit Merrifield with good at bats, and he is, we don't use this term much anymore, but Whit Merrifield as the hitting in the 2 spot is literally being asked to be the table setter. The 2-2 swung on, hit up the middle. That's going to trickle through for a base hit. How about that? Perfectly placed single in between second and short. Wow. It was just out of reach of both the shortstop and the second baseman. I'm surprised they didn't clunk their heads together like Keystone Cops. They were that close together. Both going for it. So first and second, nobody out. I think we've got the audio issues good to go. If it pops up again, I guess just put it in the chat and I'll try it. I'm by myself tonight for a while. First pitch on the way to Kelnick is swinging a miss, strike. It's on 1. I believe I know what happened, but I don't know if it's 100% fixed. Man, that was a perfectly placed ball. Sometimes things like that, you kind of hope it's your night because that ball's just a little to the left or a little to the right. It's probably a double play. The 0-1 to Kid Kelnick. Swing! That ball is hammered down the right field line. Just foul. And I mean just foul. A few feet right of the foul line in right field. That's just a couple of feet to the left. Maybe not even 2 feet. Maybe a foot and a half to the left. A foot. Not only does one run score, Darnode might have had a chance depending on where that bounced. The 0-2 to Kelnick, 14 home runs, hit one earlier this week. The pitch, down and away, 1-2. Hope you're enjoying your Friday night here in Braves Country. The 1-2 brings it. Swing, that ball's hit through the right side hole. That's going to get through for a base hit. Here comes Jorge Soler, the throw to the plate. Safe in your Atlanta Braves as the throw's up the line towards third. Take a 1-0 lead. Kid Kelnick coming through in the clutch again. Tuesday night he hit the 3-run bomb to really put the stamp on the game. And tonight, a worm burner smoked through the hole between the 4-3 hole on the right side. Pretty good throw by the rookie Lukes out there. That was closer than I expected. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Yeah, we're not paying attention to the Eagles score anymore. 1-0, down and away, 2-0. I mean the Phillies score. Fly, Eagle, fly, better worry about those Packers. So a 1-0 count. Gausman flips it over to first to keep the runner close by. We're going to take a page out of the Philadelphia book and play in the first round. They'll be ice cold and we'll smoke them in the DS. Orlando Arcia batting .224 with 15 RBI. The infield is backing to the left. Arcia digs in. Gausman, 33rd pitch of the night. Down and away, 2-0. Standing on deck is Gio Urshela, babyface as I like to call him. In the hole, Money Mike. The 2-0, swing, pops it back foul, chase one a little bit out of the zone, 2-1. Anybody catch that interview with Mike Harris today on MLB Network? It's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't want to overblow. It wasn't that interesting, but as far as players' interviews goes, it was pretty interesting. I guess he's got a new dog named Cash, playing off the nickname of Money Mike, the 2-1. 87 misses inside, called for a strike. Another blown call by Bill Miller. 2-2. Probably missed by an inch or two, but after that terrible first blown pitch is the 2-2, runner on the go. That's going to be a stolen base by Kid Kelnick. Arcia strikes out, but Kid Kelnick is now standing at second, and that gets rid of the double play. He picked a perfect pitch to go on as a bender down and away. Looked like a splitter. The throw came up to second base and bounced away. Darnode had to stay put. So second and third and one out. See how the Blue Jays want to play this. Looks like they're playing the infield in. So one base hit could break this open to 3-0 game. First pitch on the way to Gio is up and away for a strike. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Urshela batting .249, 626 OPS. The 0-1. Gausman looks back the runner, brings it, swing and a miss, 96 miles an hour, 0-2. Urshela is one of the guys that has seen Gausman. 1 for 5 lifetime against The ex-Atlanta Brave, ex-San Francisco Giant. The 0-2. Swing. That ball is laced towards right field. That's going to get down. That's going to score a run. Your Atlanta Braves lead it 2-0. Runners had to hold because the ball dropped right in front of the right fielder. So Kelnick, trying to get a read on that, didn't want to get doubled up. So we'll go station to station. But a good piece of hitting by Babyface. Your Atlanta Braves lead it 2-0. That ball was just poked into right field. They weren't playing Gio very deep. He doesn't have a lot of pop, but ball was hit right on the screws into the right field side towards the line. No chance for Lukes to get it. Michael Harris II will come to the plate. Harris, 1 for 1 with a single in the first. Got gunned down trying to steal second, killing the rally in the first, but now he's got a chance to make up for that. Runners on the corners, 1 out. The first pitch to Harris. Swing and a miss over the top splitter. It's 0-1. Yeah, looking at that replay, Kelnick would have been dead meat if they would have sent him. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Splitter over the top. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Harris has got to shorten up that swing. Make sure he just gets a piece of it. He's going to be hard to double up. Infield is in double play depth. The 0-2. Swung on. Chops it over to second. And this is going to be a 4, 6, 3. Cannot get it. Double play attempt. Kid Kelnick comes home and your Atlanta Braves lead it 3-0. Good hustle by Harris. He'll get the RBI. The fielder's choice if you're scoring at home. Kelnick comes home to score. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered. The Braves needed some. Kelnick was watching the play as he was heading towards the dugout. Did not see Merrifield stick his hand out for a high five kind of attempt and had to slam on the brakes and just kind of waved at it as he went by. Merrifield got a pretty good laugh out of it. First pitch to Merrifield is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The Ice Cream Man's 0 for 1 on the day, batting .218. Kicks and fires, slaps it back foul, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Merrifield 0 for 1 with the fly out in the first. The 0-2. Gausman rips and kicks it. 94 sinker down our way, 1-2. Gausman does have a slider and a sinker, but it's the splitter and the four seam you'll see him lean on heavily. That equates for 83% of his pitches. Slider at 8 and the sink at 5 just to keep you honest. The 1-2. Another splitter down 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Thank you, Mark. Keep us abreast on what's going on in that game. Can't keep the eye that I normally do on the secondary game like I normally have. The 2-2. 94 down and away. Ball 3-2. So a full count. Runner will be on the go from first. The payoff pitch. Outside wide, ball 4. So 2 on, 2 out. You get anything down in the gap with Harris at second and merry-go-round at first, both runs could score. Or they could trot home if Big Zoo slams one over the gates. Marcell Ozuna, before we had the audio problems, was bringing it up earlier. He is in the thick of the Triple Crown race. And I don't think he's going to get the Triple Crown, but he's going to finish likely in the top 3 of the 3 major categories, which is just phenomenal. He's most likely going to get inched out and probably finish second or third in all 3 of those categories, but He's definitely been the most valuable player for the Atlanta Braves this year. Him and Chris Sale. They make a real quick trip out there to talk to Gausman, and the lefty is warming up in the Toronto bullpen. Mets and Reds are tied at 2 in the bottom of the 4th. Phillies up a touchdown on the Marlins, getting you ready for the NFL action. So Eagles over the Dolphins 7-0 in the 3rd. First pitch to Ozuna, splitter down and away, 1-0. Gausman, should be noted, is about to throw his 50th pitch. We're only in the 2nd inning. The 1-0, swung on, chopped foul. Looked like the splitter, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. It's kind of funny. They keep dressing up that bear in the Braves dugout. It's supposed to be Snit Bear. Tonight he's wearing yellow top to bottom. Almost looks like what was it? Was it Paddington Bear that wore all the yellow? The 1-1, 95 up and in. Did he go around? They check down the line. Malachi Moore says no dice, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Comes set, kicks and fires, 3-1. If you're wondering about that Toronto bullpen, they have the 3rd worst bullpen in baseball. So if you can get into that bullpen, got a huge advantage. They have the 3rd worst bullpen in baseball. The Atlanta Braves have the 3rd best. The 3-1 from Gausman. Swing, slices it back foul. Well, I thought it was foul, but I guess Ozuna did not make contact. It was a swing and a miss, and must have been a pass ball. Oh yeah, he did miss it. It popped off the glove of Kirk and rolled away. The way the ball moved, it looked like he had gotten a piece of it, but instead, runners move up to 2nd and 3rd. So now a single could make it 5-0. The payoff pitch to the Big Zoo. Gausman brings it. Ball 4. So bases loaded, and now Big Bad Olsen. He goes bonzo. We can really bust this thing open. They are on the bullpen phone, the left-hander warming up. You do wonder if this could be it for Gausman. It looks like they're going to let him go. You would think they would have him in there to face the next 3 batters and then Kelenic, the lefty, but depends on how he does. The first pitch on the way to Olsen is swung on and lifted high and deep in the left field, going back on the track, making the catch at the gate for out number 3 to Schneider, and that'll end the inning. Would have liked to have seen Olsen eat some pitches there. He was really reeling. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. 3-0. We head to the top of the 3rd.
Coming out of retirement.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Buddy, I don't know who you are. You're about to get chlamydia.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Billy Wagner is possibly the best left-handed reliever of all time. Despite being a lefty, Wagner was born a natural righty. At the age of 7, he broke his right arm not once, but twice. While recovering, Billy learned to throw left-handed, and the rest is history. You might think that the St. Louis Cardinals are named after the bird, but that's not the case. In 1899, a reporter named Willie McHale overheard a woman talking about the, at the time, St. Louis Perfectos uniforms, saying that they were a lovely shade of cardinal. Fans liked the moniker Cardinals, and the name stuck.
Armchair.
Washington manager Joe Cantillon had received a report about a 19-year-old pitcher said to be tearing up the Idaho State League. This boy throws so fast you can't see him, the scout said, and he knows where he is throwing because if he didn't, there would be dead bodies all over Idaho. Walter Perry Johnson was a modest country boy from Humboldt, Kansas, with broad shoulders, long arms, and a curious motion that delivered the ball faster than any other pitcher had before him, and perhaps none has since. Still, he was cautious. Before signing up, he asked for a return return ticket home just in case things didn't work out back east. Things did work out. Johnson hurled the ball so fast that one batter left the box after 2 swings. The umpire told him he had a 3rd swing coming. "I know," he said, "and you can have the next one. It won't do me any good." "There's only one way to time Johnson's fastball," said Bertie McCree. "When you see the arm start forward, swing." Another batter simply shook his head. "You can't hit what you can't see."
In the words of the umpire, Billy Evans, he said, "Was it hard to call a game that Walter Johnson was pitching?" And he said, "Well, it wasn't really that hard. They wouldn't second guess me because not only were my eyes closed, their eyes were closed too."
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Max Fried to start the top of the 3rd inning is a 4-seam fastball for a strike. The 1-1 from Max. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by him, 1-2. Luke's the left-handed batter. .455 in his young career. Just 11 at bats so far, the 1-2. Swung on. That ball's rifled into right field. That's down for a base hit. And the hot swing in Luke's continues. He is now 6 for 12 lifetime in the bigs. So 1 on, nobody out. Braves lead at 3-0. You would have loved to get 1 or 2 more runs in that inning. For pitch on the way, swung on, chopped over towards Arcia. He boots it, and that's going to be an E6. Toronto will have runners on first and second, nobody out. A rare error from Arcia. He knew he was going to have to be fast with Springer running down the line. Once it popped out of his glove, he had no shot. He was trying to barehand it to get it to first, but that'll be an error. And now Max Fried really in a pickle. So first and second, nobody out. Varsho, who walked his first time up, steps to the plate. 94-mile-an-hour fastball misses outside wide. It's 1-0. So someone needs to talk to, was it Chase Elliott? He threw the first pitch out today. The NASCAR driver is the 1-0. Swing and a miss up top, 1-1. He did it in a Dansby Swanson jersey. What the hell are we doing here? I don't care if they are buddies or something. No. Absolutely not. The Braves should have put a different jersey on him. So a 1-1 count. Lefty, pitch on the way. Swung on, chops it over towards first. Olson's got it, fires it to Arcia. Arcia drops another one. It'll be the force out at second, and he won't get an error because you can't assume the double play, but that was an error. If you could assume the double play, he drops another one. He's got the yips tonight. Perfectly thrown ball by Olson. And Arcia just spits the bit. My God. Whatever he's doing, he's not living right. He needs to change his routine. Vladimir Guerrero, representing the tying run, stands at the plate, takes a mighty hack at the first pitch he sees. 95 miles an hour inside. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Guerrero does not run well, so if you can get a ground ball, you would be set up for a double play, but we've been set up for 2 double plays in this inning. I'd say the first one, you weren't going to get Springer. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swung on, chops it back over the mound. That's going to score a run. Merrifield fires it over to first, and it's a 4-3 put out. 3-1 your score. The runner from first moves to second. It was a high chopper over the head of Fried. No chance to make the play. Merrifield had a long way to go and a short time to get there. It's a good play by Merrifield to get the runner. Guerrero was busting it down the line. You got to give him credit for that. He doesn't have great speed, but he was absolutely hustling. And for a team that's well out of the playoff race, you got to tip your cap to someone who's still playing hard like that. Kirk now the batter, lefty-righty matchup, swung on. That ball's rifled over to second. Merrifield's got that. That's going to get us out of the inning. But not before Toronto puts one on the board. A lot of sloppy defense on the left side. We'll try to clean it up and get some runs.
I'll be late for work again. This is the fifth time I've been late this week. It's only Tuesday.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
JD.
So's your face.
That doesn't even make any sense.
So's your face always makes sense.
JD, that's stupid.
So's your face. I'm on fire. Hello!
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Bob Feller was one of the best and most feared pitchers of all time, especially because of his fastball. As a teenager, Feller was already a famous prospect. At the age of 16, a scout offered Feller a contract of $1 and an autographed baseball, which Feller accepted.
Walter Johnson's record of 110 shutouts still stands. He once held the New York Highlanders scoreless 3 times in 4 days. And although he rarely had the backing from the Senators that he deserved, he managed to win 417 games over his career and to win 20 or more games for 10 successive seasons. The relentless velocity of his pitching won him the nickname Big Train.
Sometimes he's referred to as a legend. He isn't a legend. A legend, according to Webster, has yet to be proved. It's a bit mythical. There's nothing mythical about Walter Johnson. He existed and was probably the best pitcher of all time.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Thanks for smashing that side. Braves win! Appreciate the heads up, Daryl, and your other brother, Daryl. Jorge Soler walked his first time up. He stands in. First pitch on the way, swung on, swatted back over the rafters behind home plate. It's a righty-righty matchup. Gausman kicks and fires. 95. Looked like it missed just a bit, but called a strike 0-2. Home plate umpire tonight, Bill Miller. He has been spotting dimes and eating onions. He's missed a couple right down the spot, right down the heart of the plate, and he's called a couple that are a little bit out of the zone. The 1-2 or 0-2 down and away, 1-2. Soler, 17 home runs, 53 RBI, a 740 OPS. Braves lead at 3-1. The 1-2. Swing, pops it back, foul. So a 1-2 count. They've got Chase Elliott in the booth, or did have him in the booth earlier. And remember, Braves and Reds are going to play in Bristol next year. The 1-2. 95 misses, down and away, 2-2. It's going to be shortly after the All-Star break next year. I wish they would have broken that up a little bit because Atlanta hosts the All-Star game, and then right after that, they're going to Bristol, essentially. The 2-2 chops it over towards third. It's going to be a close play, barehanded by the third baseman. Did he get him? Clement fires it to first. It looks like he got him by about a quarter step, one away. Soler busted it down the line. Last thing we need is for him to strain his hamstring again. I hope they got him stretching out. Just got him. Maybe a half step. Good play by the third baseman, Clement. By the way, if you're scoring at home, the Max Fried run was not earned. First pitch on the way to Darnode is down and away. Really strange. He stepped out of the box and Galson missed by a mile. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Not really sure what that was from Travis. He just stepped out of the box, like to the very back of the box, and let the pitch go. He got the ball called for a strike. I guess he was trying to ambush him. I don't know. The 1-1 misses. 95 mile an hour four-seamer. 2-1. Braves 3. Toronto 1. Toronto scored on the error from Arcia. Braves put 3 on last inning. The 2-1. In the dirt, 3-1. Gausman's really been struggling with his control tonight. He's at 65 pitches with 1 out here in the third. Standing on deck is Kid Kelnick. Arcia, if we can get somebody on. The 3-1 from KG. Swing, hits it high and deep into center field. Going back on the track. It'll die right at the warning track for a loud out number 2. Dalton Varsho, the center fielder, with the catch. So 2 down. Kid Kelnick, Jerry Kelnick, 1-for-1 with an RBI single in the second. He also stole a base and scored a run. Stands in, righty-lefty. First pitch. In the dirt. 1-0. Tomorrow night, you got Schwellenbach on the mound. Sunday afternoon, it's Chris Sale Day, the 1-0. Swing and a miss, splitter over the top, 1-1. The 1-1 to Kelnick. Swing! That ball's lifted into left field, drifting over. Making the catch is Schneider. Kind of buckled him at first. Had a hard read, but stuck with it, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. The Braves lead it 3-1. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Radio, Braves Country Baseball, Friday night.
People say, you're too old to be fighting. Well, you're too old to be talking to someone like me because I will punch you in your damn throat.
Hey, Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We're bringing you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free, and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
I understand that we're not friends anymore. Okay, look, man, you brought this on yourself. I know I did, but that's no reason for me to suffer.
Why did Robin Ventura charge the mound against Nolan Ryan? Robin Ventura getting beaten by Nolan Ryan in a headlock is absolutely iconic. But why did Ventura think it was a good idea to go after Ryan? Pudge Rodriguez has gone on record saying that the White Sox and Rangers had bad blood for years, even as recently as the previous series between the two teams. The inning before the fight, White Sox pitcher Alex Fernandez plunked Ranger outfielder Juan Gonzalez. When Nolan Ryan got on the mound, he retaliated by hitting Robin Ventura. Ventura felt that it was intentional, so he decided to go for it. After the game, Nolan Ryan claimed innocence, saying, "I didn't expect that to happen. I was just trying to pitch him inside." Ventura, on the other hand, felt it was 100% intentional, saying, "If you don't think he did it on purpose, you don't know the game."
New York writers were determined to make Christy Mathewson the best pitcher, the pitcher hero of all time. And in that sense, they were tended to ignore Walter Johnson. They couldn't do this because Walter Johnson surpassed Mathewson in so many ways. If Walter Johnson were pitching for a team that had the winning percentage of Mathewson's Giants, there would have been no contest.
Top of the fourth inning we go. Braves leading 3-1. Max Fried back to work. His 39th pitch of the night. Brings it. 92. Just misses down and away. 1-0. Same spot that he was giving Gausman on that sinker, the 1-0. Swung on, chops it over to third. Gio's got it, flips it to Matt. 5-3 in your scorecard, one away. One down. I think it was, so I've got a couple of these monitors in front of me. I think it was on the Toronto cast. I'm waiting to see if they show it on the Braves one that we have delayed. It must have been on the Toronto cast. I believe it was a Toronto fan in the stands. Is the first pitch on the way to Wagner, lefty-lefty matchup, curveball in the inner cut. It's it must have been the Toronto broadcast, but I'm pretty sure it was either a Braves City Connect or a Toronto hat. Is the 0-1 down and away, right there on the outer edge, 0-2. And the fan looked like a younger guy. I don't know. I'm guessing late 20s, early 30s. But he had bedazzled his hat. The 0-2 swung on, chops it foul down the first base side. We'll do it again. It was all sparkly and glittery. I was like, it threw me off because I was like, what am I looking at here? I'm pretty sure it was on the Toronto cast. If anyone saw it, I think it was a Blue Jays hat that a fan, I don't know if his wife got a hold of it because he was sitting next to someone who could have been his wife. But it was loud. The 0-2 swung on, chops it over to first. Matt Olson grabs it, flips it to Fried, covering the bag, 2 down. 2 away. That'll bring Jimenez. He grounded out to third his first time up. Braves come in tonight with a flat-footed tie with the New York Mets. They're 4 in front of Chicago, 5 in front of the Cardinals after the Cubs lost to the New York Yankees this afternoon in Wrigley, 3-0. The 0-1 to Jimenez. Swing, chops it off. Oh, man, that got a piece of Jimenez. Bounced off the plate and then either racked Jimenez or got him in the thigh. He is down, writhing in pain. Coaching staff's going to come out there and look at him. You can actually see him on the screen, and I don't mean to laugh, but I've never seen this before. And he's not doing everything you're seeing on your screen, but it looks like he's break dancing, so it's humorous, but it's not funny that he got hurt. It looked like it got him on the side up near the belt. Maybe it got a piece of that belt. And now what you're seeing on your screen for those watching on the YouTube or on the YouTube cast is that's the trainer with him checking him out, but it looks like one person. So it looks like it's the what's the Australian break dancer that was doing the crazy moves this summer? That reminds me, we'll go ahead and bring the Facebook crowd in. Top of the 4th. It's an 0-2 count on Jimenez. They're still checking with him. He's still down on one knee. It might have knocked the wind out of him. Because he's down on one knee, almost Tebow style, leaning on the trainer there for the Toronto Blue Jays. It didn't look like it got him in the jewels. It looked like it got him on the side, and that might have knocked the wind out of him. And if he's never had the wind knocked out, of course, most athletes have, but if you've never had the wind knocked out of you, the first time it happens to you, it is it kind of rattles you. You don't know what the hell's going on. Jimenez appears to be fine, so that's good news. Lefty-righty matchup, the 0-2 pitch. Hits him. 94 got him in the arm. Fried was trying to sneak one in on him, and he lost control of the ball, and he got him. Obviously, no intent there. I'm sure Jimenez's mind's going 100 miles an hour after what just happened, but it got him in. He's got like an elbow pad, so he should be fine It's almost like a Barry Bonds type of elbow pad where it looks more like a knee guard or a shin guard in soccer. So he'll head down to first, kind of gets bailed out there. Friedel now face Schneider, lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Swung on, chops it over towards third. Babyface is going to have to hurry. Here comes the throw over to first. What a throw by Gio! Babyface Gio guns him down at first, and it's a 5-3 putout. He gets high fives and smiles around. Braves lead it 3-1. We'll head to break and grab the sticks when we come back.
Dad, look, it's the good Kush. This is the dollar store. How good can it be?
Just thought you guys should know that the Scottish have a word for laying around in bed after it's time to get up, and it's called herkle-durkling. I do be herkling and I do be durkling, and once I've herkled my last durkle in a given morning, I will get up, but I'm a big fan of a herkle-durkle, so you should be too.
There'll be a slight chance I might be pregnant.
Really? And why do you say that?
I've been craving weird things that I'm not
normally craving?
Yeah.
And now you crave it?
Like water.
Well, some of it
I'm
could
craving
be
water. You ain't pregnant, you're thirsty. Don't drink you some water. It'll be alright.
The Oakland Athletics mascot is somewhat randomly an elephant, but there is a reason for that. In the early 1900s, New York Giants manager John McGraw told the Athletics owner that he had a white elephant on his hands. A white elephant is something that's not as valuable as the effort needed for it. Athletics manager Connie Mack heard this and decided to make an elephant the team's logo.
How do we opt out of TikTok shop videos? I don't want to see them anymore! I'm not going to shop on TikTok shop! I'm going to shop on Amazon! Stop showing me your videos!
How come your socks aren't the same color? I don't know. How come your kids don't have the same last name?
The greatest ball player of all time? I picked the Detroit man, because he is, in my judgment, the most expert man of his profession, and is able to respond better than any other ball player to any demand made upon him. He plays ball with his whole anatomy, his head, his arms, his hands, his legs, his feet. I have never seen a man who had his heart more centered in the sport than Cobb has when he's playing. I believe Cobb would continue to play ball if he were charged something for the privilege, and if the only spectator were the groundskeeper, Charles Comiskey.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. They are in the 6th in New York. Reds and Mets are tied at 2. We head to the bottom of the 4th. First pitch on the way to Arcia as a slider inside misses its 0-1. Orlando 0 for 1 on the day. He's also got the error, so you know he wants to make a tone for that. The 0-1. 93 at the knees on the outer cut. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Gixon fires. Slider down and away. 1-2. Braves 3, Blue Jays 1, the 1-2. Inside, good Lord. I mean, Bill Miller is bad at umpiring. Called strike 3. That pitch was at least 2 to 3 inches on the inside. And that's not even one that you can sit here and say, well, you got to swing the bat. That one was such an awful pitch. If he swung at it, you'd be killing him for it. Still, silence is the word over there on the Braves bench. Gio Urshela takes the first pitch down and away. He's 1-0. Urshela, RBI single in the second. He's 1 for 1. The 1-0. Gausman, number 75. Swing, fouls it back. Out of the glove of Kirk. 1-1. Players just want to know that their manager will fight for them. And I think some of the blahs of the offense can be directly pointed at just the lack of, as the 1-1 pitch is popped up, high in the sky. Can of corn, center of the infield. Making the catch is Guerrero, 2 down. But the lack of support that they get from their managers, I think, directly affects and results in offensive production that is down. When everything was going well last year, you know, you didn't have to get involved, but players want to know, is the 4-seam fastball's up in for a strike, it's on 1. And it's not just the Bobby Cox of the world. You know, every great manager usually is known for fighting for his players. The 0-1 lifted high and deep into center field. Is that going to go back, making the catch at the wall? A jumping catch, and that'll end the inning. Not sure what Harris is pointing at, but that'll end the inning. And Varsho, good defensive play. We head to the top of the 5th, clinging to a 2-run lead.
Drink a whole lot of whiskey, chase a lot of women, and become a legend and die.
Hard work does not guarantee success. It doesn't, and it never will. But it absolutely will put you in the best position to be able to achieve it. I think that's one thing that we've seen throughout the course of this season. We got some remarkable men that are sitting here in front of me. And the work you put in, the decision that you made, just to say yes. Because you know what? It's really easy when things don't go well, right, and you hurt, right, and you're angry, and you're sad. The easiest thing to do is to pull back and stop. That's what the world wants you to do. You deserve better than that. So I apologize to you. If you guys are playing your last game, you had a season that will be remembered forever. And I respect the hell out of who you are for being in here today, for stepping on that field and going and giving everything. You have my respect.
Be nice to him when he gets here.
I will.
Just because he doesn't like football. He
doesn't like football?
I've told you this already.
He doesn't like it at all?
No.
What does he do over a weekend?
Well, we do things. Like read books and go for walks and spend time together.
I don't think you should be seeing this guy.
Why not?
I don't trust him.
The world doesn't revolve around football, Dad.
It does. I still don't understand what he does over a weekend.
Well, this weekend we're going shopping.
No.
Baseball is a red-blooded sport for red-blooded men. It's no pink tea, and mollycoddles had better stay out. It's a struggle for supremacy, a survival of the fittest.
Ty Cobb liked sentimentality in his opponents because he had none himself. Baseball, he said, is something like a war.
Ty Cobb is one of the great natural forces of baseball. Testament to how far you can get simply through will. I don't think Ty Cobb had tremendous natural ability. I don't think he would be a great athlete today. But his intensity, his drive was unparalleled. Cobb was pursued by demons, and he took out all of his aggressions on the playing field. Everyone was his enemy.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves lead this one 3-1. Max Fried will go back to work. Lefty-lefty matchup. Fried starts off with Lukes, who's 1 for 1. Pitch misses down. It's 1-0. Lukes, 1350 OPS and batting 500. How is that to begin his career? The 1-0. Swung on, chopped foul. 1-1. He was the 7th overall pick in 2015 by the Cleveland Indians. Went to college at Sacramento State. He is 30 years old. He's 5'11", 180, and just reaching the major leagues. And what a beginning. The 1-1. Chop foul. 1-2. The 1-2 count. To give you an idea of what he's done in the minor leagues this year. Batted .335. 366 last year. I don't know what took them so long to bring him up. The 1-2. Did he go around? Tried to hold up. They checked down the line. Third base umpire Emil Jimenez says no dice. Evens up the count. So at 2-2. Mad Max comes set. Brings it. Cutter in the dirt, full count. In his long career in the minor leagues since 2015, is the payoff pitch swung on. That ball sliced into left field. That is just foul. Just foul. That was almost a double down the line. Missed by maybe a foot. So Luke's was pausing. I think he thought that it had gotten in play, but it missed by about a foot. He was adjusting his gear, his pad down by his leg like he was getting on base, but they sent him back to the plate. The payoff pitch, caught looking strike three. He got caught watching the paint dry. One away. Good pitch. P at the knees. He must have been sitting on the off speed because he did not flinch. But anyways, back to that kid Nathan Lukes, 30-year-old. In his career in the minor leagues, he's batted .288 with an OPS of 768. So this isn't like a Johnny-come-lately. I mean, he's been pretty solid, and in 2021, he hit .303, in 2023 at .366, and this year at .335. 1-0, the 0-1 misses high, 1-1. So a 1-1 count to George Springer, the leadoff hitter for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's 0 for 2. Max Fried kicks, fires, curveball just misses down and away. He's never hit for a lot of pop down on the farm, and maybe that's got something to do with it, man. But it's pretty impressive that he's been down there that long hitting that well. The 2-1. Misses high, 3-1. So Max behind Springer on a 3-1 count. Springer, 34-year-old now. He was with his teams with as the 3-1 pitch is swung on, chopped over towards third. Gio's got it, fires over to first. Just gets Springer in time. What a rifle on babyface, 2 away. What I was going to say is that before he signed his big contract, Springer came up with the Astros. You probably remember him from there, and he was on that 2017 Tarnished Championship. He came to Toronto just before we played the Astros in the World Series, and then Houston went on to win the 2022 World Series. First pitch on the way to Varsho, lefty-lefty matchup. It's outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Varsho, 28 years old. Traded away from Arizona a few years ago. The 1-0. That ball is chopped down the line. Making a diving attempt was Olsen. It's kind of comedic. You'll probably see it on the highlights. The ball went foul, but he was trying to dive for it. When he did, Matt kind of face planted and rolled over into the chalk. He's got kind of a grin and then kicked his hat sideways. He's trying not to laugh, but he's got a smile on his face because he knows he's going to be on all the highlight reels later on tonight. The 1-1. Curveball up top for a strike. Darno drops it, but we did get the call 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Mets have taken a 4-2 lead as Mark has jumped in the chat. Dr. Doom telling us the Mets are now winning. The 1-2. Brings it. Lifted over towards first. On the ground. Olsen flips it to Fried. Barely gets the runner. Man, Varsho was busting it down the line. He is their center fielder, but Max gets him by a step. We'll head back to break. When we come back, The Braves grabbed the bats, leading it by 2.
Well, you know I love my family. It's just sometimes I want to get in the car and run them all over.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. You might know MC Hammer as the rapper who made You Can't Touch This. As a teenager, he was a bat boy for the Oakland Athletics, and Reggie Jackson gave him the nickname Hammer. Jackson thought MC Hammer looked like Hank Aaron, whose nickname was Hammer and Hank. The Yankees currently have a no beards policy, but the Cincinnati Reds actually had a similar policy for around 30 years. In the late 1960s, general manager Bob Howsam enforced a no facial hair policy in order to give the Reds a presentable look. But the policy ended in 1999 when the Reds traded for Greg Vaughn.
It's the 21st century, and there are just so many fun and exciting ways to lose your money. So many ways to make your life even more interesting with crippling financial burdens. Why not one more way? New in Canada, it's Solitaire MMORPG. Play with yourself online. See other people playing with themselves online. Poverty Poker Online, now offering Solitaire. A new way to lose all your money, even your home, from the comfort of your own home.
He was born on a Georgia farm in 1886 and named Tyrus after the ancient city of Tyre that stubbornly refused to surrender to Alexander the Great. His father was distant, demanding, and nothing young Tyrus could do ever seemed to satisfy him. The tense, skinny boy took out his anger on the diamond. He left home at 17 to play in the minors in Alabama and Tennessee. His father warned him, "Don't come home a failure." That admonition, Cobb recalled, put more determination in me than he ever knew. My overwhelming need was to prove myself as a man.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Gausman to Merrifield is chopped off of Witt's instep. It's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Just noticed in the news, the Phillies pulled an Atlanta Braves. I bet you their fan base is raising Cain. So if you remember in the Phillies series, the 0-1, slider inside, 0-2. Alec Boehm swung at a pitch and didn't hit him, swung at a pitch, and it looked like he had injured his wrist. They took him out of the game and said he was day-to-day. The 0-2. Swing, slice it back foul. Do it again. They have just put him on the 10-day IL, which you can only backtrack that 3 days. So, but I guarantee you there's Philly fans thinking the same thing Braves fans. Like, what the hell? Why'd you take so long? Why didn't you just put him on the IL? Because you're playing all these games without, a man down, especially in the Philly situation where they're going to cruise to a division victory. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2. Merrifield 0-for-1. Braves with a 2-run lead. The 1-2. Inside 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Gausman kicks and fires. Swing. That ball's rifled up the middle, but right at the shortstop. 6-3 put out. Jimenez to Vlad. One away. That was a worm burner. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. One down, and Marcell Ozuna, who's 1-for-1, will come to the plate. Ozuna now batting .308 with a .952 OPS, still sitting on those 37 home runs. First pitch, down and in. Good Lord. That pitch was nowhere near the zone. Called for a strike on 1. I mean, not even close. The 0-1. 80. Oh, jeez. 0-2. I mean, you can't have it both ways. He's having to defend a strike zone that is every bit of 19 to 20 inches wide, and from his shoe tops to his helmet. The 0-2, 83. Same spot, didn't get rung up. Surprise, 1-2. Ozuna's, I don't know what he's saying, but he is cursing him under his breath while he's spitting out sunflower seeds. The 1-2, 90. Are you kidding me? 95 miles an hour, easily 3 inches below the zone. And Snicker just sits there. Doesn't say a thing, doesn't do a thing. He has got no credibility left in that. That's not even close. I mean, it is pathetic how bad that call was. It was inside 2 to 3 inches inside, outside 2 inches outside, and below the zone by 3 inches. Fat Boy Miller hands the ball back to the catcher at the first pitch misses. It's 1-0. I mean, it is absurd. The 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. He's not old enough to pull the senile card, John. The 1-1 brings it, swing and a miss over the top, 1-2. The fact that Snicker will sit on his can and not do anything about that is pathetic. I just wish that there was someone else on that management team that had the cojones to speak up. Get kicked out yourself. Walt Weiss, anybody. The 1-2. Ball bounces, so he calls that one a ball, 2-2. Even Seitzer's sitting around giving Smith the side eye. The 2-2. Swing, chops it over to the shortstop area. It's going to be a 5-3 putout as the third baseman, Clement, was playing over there in short on the shift. That'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Someone wake up Snicker, but do it gently. You might give him an episode.
They say when you can't sleep at night, it's because you're awake in someone else's dreams. When I find out who you are, I'm going to punch you in the face.
While warming up for a game in 1983, Yankees player Dave Winfield accidentally hit a bird with a ball. After the game, he was actually taken to a local police station and charged with animal cruelty. Fortunately for Winfield, charges were quickly dropped. In 1970, the Cardinals signed a catcher out of high school named Randy Poffo. He played in the minors for the Cardinals and the Reds for 4 years before quitting baseball. He instead pursued professional wrestling, where he became the legendary Macho Man Randy Savage.
G'day! Hi, it's Dean, calling from Cyprus.
Buongiorno, Dino.
My mate wants me to rub sun cream on his back.
Holy dooly. A delicate matter, but a burnt wingman is useless. So there are rules.
Okay.
Only put creamer he can't reach. Between his shoulder blades. The safe zone.
Anything else?
Whack it on thick, mate. Last thing you want to do is a second coach. And remember, Dino, the following things are not permitted. Eye contact. Scented candles. Power balance. And do not apply if he's wearing budgie smugglers. Are we all clear?
Crystal. Cheers, fellas.
No dramas.
Armchair.
Sale to a major league team seemed only weeks away, a sure sign of the success with which he hoped to win his father's favor. Then, Cobb got a telegram. His father was dead, shotgunned. Cobb's own mother had shot him. Her husband thought she was having an affair, and when he tried to slip into her bedroom window at night to trap her with her lover, she shot him twice. Later, she said, she had mistaken him for a prowler. My father had his head blown off when I was 18 years old by a member of my own family, Cobb told a writer when he was an old man. I didn't get over that. I've never gotten over it. 3 weeks after his father was killed, on August 30th, 1905, Ty Cobb played his first game for the Detroit Tigers.
First pitch on the way from Max Fried is on the outer cut for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. 94 up high and wide. 1-1. 1-1 count. Swing and a miss, 93 up top, 1-2. Braves 3, Blue Jays 1. The 1-2 swung on and roasted into left field. That'll be a leadoff single for the Blue Jays here in the top of the 6th. Hard hit ball between the 5-6 hole. Vlad will be on first, taking off his gloves, leaning towards second. Doubt that he goes, but first pitch on the way to Kirk is high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Good to see that carry. Mets and Reds tied at 4 in the 7th. The 1-0. Swung on, slapped into right field. That's a problem. It's going to get through for a base hit. They'll go station to station, but they've got the go-ahead run coming to home plate and the tying run at first. Kirk just slapped it against the shift, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that got way too much of the plate. We've seen this too much recently, but some of it has to do with the poor umpiring tonight. But nonetheless, Braves get those 3 runs, and then they just become silent the rest of the game. We're in the 7th. Braves scored 3 runs all the way back in the 2nd inning and really haven't done much since. First pitch to Clement is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Ernie Clement, 1 for 2. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swung on, chops off his instep. 0-2. Max Fried only 72 pitches. So an 0-2 count. Clement singled in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2. The 0-2 for Max. Inside. Did he go around? Looks like he did. Strike 3. Got him with the 4-seam. Kind of a half-hearted check swing. One of those ones that Clement would like to have back. He wasn't really thinking about swinging, but defensively he just kind of moved his arms. The next thing you know, he's out. So 2 on, 1 out. A double play would get us out of this mess. Wagner to the plate. Lefty. First pitch. Sweeper down and away. Misses. 1-0. Good stop by Travis, keeping that from going to the backstop. Wagner lined out to left his first time up. Grounded to first his second time up. Jimenez stands on deck. The 1-0. 95 on the inner cut. Kissing the black. It's 1-1. One count. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 6th inning is the 1-1. Swing and a miss curveball. Teardrop below the knees. 1-2. Bottom of the 6th, the Atlanta Braves will have due up Jorge Soler, Travis d'Arnaud, and Kelnick. The 1-2. Brings it. Swing, chops it foul down the first base line. Do it again. Gausman's at 93 pitches. They may very well pull him and go to the bullpen. The 1-2. Kicks and fires. In the dirt. 2-2. Same 2 teams back at it tomorrow night. 7:20 first pitch. Schwellenbach on the bump for the Braves. The 2-2 for Max. Curveball caught, looking, strike 3. That was out of the zone as well. 2 away. At least Max is getting some of those calls. I'm surprised you're not hearing something from the Toronto bullpen. I mean, Toronto dugout, I should say. That pitch probably missed 2 inches off the plate. Jimenez, the batter, first pitch, swing and a miss, strike. It's on 1. Appears that he's okay after getting hit with that foul ball on the side and then hit by pitches last time up in back-to-back pitches. If you're just joining us, the 0-1, Max comes set, brings it. Swing! 95, blew it right by him. 0-2. Max at 81 pitches. If he can get out of this jam, they may very well send him back out there for the 7th. So we're sitting here at the bottom of the order, this number 7 hitter. Nothing else, they may send him back out there to start the inning, depending how this one ends. Jimenez batting .232 on the year. He's got a .720 OPS. The 0-2 from Mad Max brings it. Swung on, chops it foul down the third base line. Good curveball. Jimenez just got a bit of it, just a piece of it, to stay alive. Braves 3, Toronto 1. 2 on, 2 out, the 0-2 count. Max steps off the bump for a second. That'll count as one of his moves. The 0-2 from Max. Looks into Darno, setting up outside the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big bender. Max throwing that Uncle Charlie up there, and that'll end the inning. Way to get out of that jam, Bad Max. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Super marriage tip. If your wife is laying down on the couch, just ask her, do you plan on doing anything today? This will subconsciously remind your wife that she has chores around the house that needs done, and she needs to get up and do her chores.
Find everything you need today?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Oh, God. No.
Everything okay, ma'am?
It's just that you've only scanned a few items and it's already $60. I'm so scared.
Okay, I'm a trained professional, ma'am. I've scanned a lot of groceries. I need you to stay with me.
It's just that my in-laws are in town and they want a charcuterie board.
Well, this isn't going to be easy, so I need you to be brave, all right? I need you to take a deep breath. We're about to do the cheese.
Oh, my God.
Don't look up there. It only makes it worse. Keep your eyes on me, okay?
Can't you just scan something less expensive?
Brace yourself. I'm about to do the mixed nuts.
Oh, my God. I'm going to pass out.
Get ready. I'm going to do the cured meats.
Oh, no, stop. I can't do this anymore.
It's too late. There's a line behind you, okay? You're locked in.
I'm not strong enough.
I know it looks like a lot right now, but I promise you, you're going to get home and you're going to wonder, what did I even buy? Get ready. I'm going to weigh the grapes.
Oh, what have you done to me, you son of a...
Armchair.
Crazy stats. On June 25th, 1976, in a doubleheader against the White Sox, Toby Harrah became the only shortstop ever to play every single inning of a doubleheader and not get a single ball hit to him.
Cobb's ferocity drove his team to the pennant in 1907 and himself to the batting championship of the American League. At 20 years and 10 months, Ty Cobb was the youngest man ever to win a big league batting title. He would win 7 more in a row, 12 in 13 years. He was, one writer said, a cyclone, a tornado, a typhoon, all rolled into one.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Jorge Soler, the batter. First pitch on the way. That ball's hit into left field. Going back, it's going to get over the left fielder's head. That ball's going to get down where the green grass grows. Here comes Jorge Soler trucking into second base, and it's a leadoff double with a little Jorge Soler power to get us going. That ball was smoked. Toronto's showing 112 miles an hour off the bat. Wow. They have left Gosman in. I couldn't even get that out before he was ripping and gripping. First pitch on the way to Darno's, 92 inside. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Braves lead it 3-1. Love to get some breathing room. They've got a huge hole on the right side. We know Travis loves to poke it over there. The 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Brings it. 94. A little bit off the plate, but he's been calling it wide all night long. Two and one. There they go. The Braves screen finally caught up. The 2-1 pitch. 86 below the knees. 2-2. You know, Matt, Travis hates that call. He's biting his lip because he's going to go behind home plate in the next inning and try to get those same calls. So taking one for the team there, but that pitch was not a strike. Bill Miller, awful night behind the plate, and he's been awful for a while. I wouldn't say he's the worst, but he's got to be top 10 at least. The 2-2 chops it foul down over to third base. It's going to roll foul. Do it again. The more and more I see of Bill, we don't see him as much as we've seen some of the other guys, but I think I got to put him top 5 at this point. I really have to look at it at the end of the year. Maybe we'll do a ranking, but he's got to be just unbelievably. I'll say one thing. He's consistent. He does not know what the strike zone is. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3, one away. And it makes a big difference when you start getting these wide zones. Guys feel like they have to protect everything. The game is hard enough as it is without the umpire not knowing what he's doing. That's the understatement of the night. Brian says the umpire's making some bad calls. First pitch on the way to Jerry Kelenic is right there for a strike on the outer edge. It's 0-1. Inflation may be a touch out of control, too. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 97. Out wide, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. They do have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen, Tommy Nance. Gausman's at 102 pitches. The 0-2 from Gausman. Looks back second and brings it. Swing, pops it up. Back behind home plate. Looks like Kirk's got it. He'll make the catch, 2 down. Two down, and now it'll be up to Orlando Arcia. Braves squandering a golden opportunity with a leadoff double. It'll be up to Orlando to try to get a base hit here to bring home Jorge. The infield is back into the left. First pitch to Arcia. Down and away, it's 1-0. If Arcia can keep it going, Gio stands on deck. The 1-0. Righty. Kicks and fires. Swing, rattles it foul. I think that got a piece of Kirk. Ricocheted back out of play. 1-1. One count. Friday night baseball here in Truist Park. Braves lead it 3-1. The pitch. In the dirt, 2-1. Good block by Kirk. He's getting beat up back there. I think that might have got a piece of him. Let's see what the replay shows. Oh, yeah. That's what I thought. It got him right in the throat. It bounced underneath his mask. I don't even know how that's possible considering all the gear he's got. He's been given a chance. What is going on here? They are going to send Soler to third and see what the reasoning is. The umpires got together. By the way, they are checking out Kirk, so it's got nothing to do with that. And Jorge Soler goes down to third, so now a wild pitch could score him. Home plate umpire Bill Miller is talking to the Toronto Blue Jays side, and I don't know what they possibly could have called on that. We'll have to wait for a clarification. So a 2-1 count. Soler at third. A wild pitch could score. The 2-1 pitch misses up top, but that hasn't stopped Miller all night long. It's 2-2. Arcia asked for his timeout. You got a 2-2. Braves lead at 3-1. We're here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Braves have just been quiet ever since scoring those 3 runs back in the second inning. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Braves. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for Toronto. The 2-2. 96 outside wide, 3-2. If nothing else, you'd like to get Arcia to walk to clear him going into the 7th inning. Clear the number 9 batter to go in the 7th inning. It's not as important as it used to be when we had the pitchers, but the payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, got him with the splitter, and that'll end the inning. Galsman, man, I'll tell you what, he put together a pretty good start after coughing up the 3 in that inning where the Braves could have scored more. It's 3-1. We head to the 7th.
I do, in fact, around and find out. I have, in fact, learned every lesson the hard way.
Movie theaters are failing because literally no one goes and sees movies anymore. And I think there's a few reasons for this. I think, number 1, no one makes good movies anymore. Number 2, it's so damn expensive. And number 3, you can just watch the movie on Amazon or Hulu or Netflix in like a week. But I think I have the greatest solution ever for movie theaters. Bro, these movie theaters need to start showing live sports games. Could you imagine if a movie theater played March Madness basketball games? Number 1, the screens are massive, so you can play like 4 different college basketball games all at the same time on the same screen. Number 2, they already have everything a sports fan will want. They have beer and they have food. And could you imagine if they made like all-day passes for March Madness? Like $20 to get in, it's $10 beer pitchers, and then you could like rotate through the different movie theaters and watch all of the different games. Like, it would be so sick, and they would make so much money from doing that.
David Ortiz was actually sued by Jay-Z in 2010. Ortiz had opened up a nightclub in the Dominican Republic called 4040, which Jay-Z thought was too similar to his nightclubs, named the 4040 Club. Ortiz and Jay-Z reached an agreement, and the trademark infringement lawsuit was settled out of court.
I think baseball is a great support to people who have emotional voids, gaps, emotional difficulties. That is to say, all of us. Those parts of us that don't function well, those parts of us that are sad or depressed, not every day. They can really use baseball. It isn't just the child in a wheelchair or the shut-in senior citizen listening to the radio that needs the game. There's part of us, part of everybody who's a baseball fan, that needs the game at that level.
Your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Max Fried will go back out there for a 7th inning of work. First pitch is a curveball that goes into the dirt. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty matchup. Schneider, the number 8 hitter. The 1-0 misses away. 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Kicks and fires. 4-seam fastball misses well inside. 3-0. The 3-0 pitch. 88 up top. Got a very friendly strike call, 3-1. The 3-1 swing slaps over to short. Leaping catch by Orlando Arcia. The Magic Kingdom redeems himself. One away. Man, oh man alive. Got to the top of his leap and snared that one before it got to left field. First pitch on the way, 84-mile-an-hour sweeper to the left-handed bat of Luke's, 1-0. Olsen said something to RC that made him laugh. The 1-0. Brings it. 93 on the outer edge. He's been calling that a strike all night. Not now. 2-0. Braves 3, Blue Jays 1, top of the 7th inning. The 2-0 from Max. Kicks and fires. Swing, slice it back foul. Behind home plate, 2-1. The 2-1 from Max. Braves lead it 3-1. The 2-0 swung on and chopped foul. Got a piece of Darno. Might have got a piece of home plate umpire Miller as well. So you got a 2-2 count. Luke's takes his timeout. Tying run standing on deck. That's where we'd like to keep him. The 2-2. Max. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with the curveball falling off the table. 2 away. Wouldn't say Max has had his best stuff tonight, but he's been pretty solid. Both pitchers were bailed out a little bit with the ridiculous strike zone from Bill Mueller, but nonetheless, Max has struck out 7, only walked 1, and given up just 4 hits. Back to the top of the order. First pitch on the way from Springer is swatted down the left field line, but foul. He was sitting on that curveball. It's 0-1. Just could not keep it straight. The 0-1 brings it. 84 out wide, 1-1. One count. Kicks and fires. Curveball right there at the knees. 1-2. The thing about this is you can't keep expecting our pitching staff to be damn near perfect. We've got to start getting them some support. You got a 1-2 count. Break in the action. Looks like Max had to step off the rubber once again. The 1-2. No, they called an automatic ball on that one. The 2-2. Swing. Rifles it back foul. That is what they did. That they called Max with an automatic ball. They didn't put it on the Braves screen, but that ball smacked Darno in the helmet coming off. Him and Kirk are getting beat up tonight. The 2-2. Max brings it. Curveball just misses the zone. Full count. Would have liked to have had that call, but it was not in the zone. I think Max was trying to get him to chase. George Springer, 0 for 3. If he gets on, the tying run will come to the plate. Darno calls time. He's going to go out there and talk to Max. I think he was looking at Max. It was very, very close to getting another violation called him. So heads up play by Darno. whatever he said to Max, it was very quick. It was just I think it was just a reset of the clock. So a full count to Springer. The 100th pitch of the night. Swing rifled into right field, and that's down for a base hit. And the Toronto Blue Jays will bring the tying run to home plate in the form of Dalton Varsho. Snicker not budging a bit, an inch. You'd think you would at least go out there and talk to him, get him to catch his breath. Jimenez is warming up in the bullpen, and I get they don't want to bring him in until Vladdy, who's the right-hander, standing on deck. But why not go out there and let someone talk to him? First pitch on the way, swing and a miss, it's 0-1. Not that Max needs any kind of coaching right now. It's more just to get him a breath. Is it against the rules to bring a Gatorade out there to him? The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. It's an 0-2 count. Lefty, 103rd pitch on the way, curveball in the dirt, 1-2. The throw is going to go down to second base as Springer takes off. It's a bad throw, probably one that d'Arnaud should have kept in his pocket, and Springer will now sprint down to third, 90 feet away. Take another look at this. The ball went in the dirt. Springer took off, and it was just a bad throw by d'Arnaud. He went to the third base side on that throw. Arcia was trying to pirouette and slap the tag, but Arcia would have been better off just blocking the ball. It was such a bad throw, he was never going to get the runner. The 1-2 in the dirt. That ball almost gets away. Somehow d'Arnaud corrals it before it goes to the backstop. That would have been a run. A 2-2 count. Jimenez appears to be warm in the bullpen. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. stands on deck. The 2-2 for Max. They set up outside. Swing and a miss, strike three. d'Arnaud flips it over to first as the ball gets away, but that'll end the inning. You can score that 2-3 strikeout. We'll head to the bottom of the seventh. Get up and stretch, Braves country. We need some runs, by God.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. All one, a two, a three. We out to the ball. We out to the find me something to jack.
about 70 cents, you can buy a can of soda, regular or diet. For about 70 cents, you can also buy a cup of coffee. For about 70 cents, you can buy a pack of gum, plain or sugarless. For
10 cents a day,
you can buy
The Country Club for Braves Country Radio. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball here on Braves Country Radio. Righty-righty matchup as Gio Urshela stands in. First pitch on the way. Up top for a strike, it's on 1. Nance, the right-hander, set to face Urshela. Michael Harris in Merrifield, the 0-1, pops it up into shallow center field, drifting back, making the catch is the second baseman, Wagner, 1 down. They're in the 9th inning in Queens. Reds and Mets tied at 4. Looks like the Reds have the heart of their order due up. Wind starting to blow out to right field. Michael Harris II like to get one into it. First pitch from Nance is, they say that's a curveball. It did not curve, way outside wide, 1-0. The 1-0. Brings it. Swing and a miss. Nasty curveball. 1-1. It's one of those ones that Harris becomes a better hitter over time. With a 1-0 count, you don't even swing at that. You let it go by. If he gets called a strike, then so be it. The 1-1 swung on, chops that same curveball into the dirt. It's going to be an easy 3-1 put out, 2 away. Talked about it before and talked about it again and again and again and again. That's why I don't like having a guy with the low on base percentage at the top of the order like that. He's too feast or famine. That's why you put him in the 6 holes, somewhere in that neighborhood. So if he does get into one, usually you might have someone on base. And then the other thing is he's hard to double up. We've had so many problems. Luke Williams will be the batter. What is this about? First pitch on the way, chopped foul, it's on 1. So that's not a good sign. Find out what's going on with Whit Merrifield. The 0-1. Kicks and fires, swing and a miss, 1-1. This is definitely not something you would choose to do. Whit Merrifield exited tonight's game after fouling a ball off his left foot. Jeez. The 0-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 easy outs. Braves go quietly. We head to the 8th. It's up to the bullpen again, Braves country. This offense isn't doing squadoozy.
Got the results today from my doctor. He said I was a beast.
No, he said you were obese.
How do I permanently erase you from my feed? I don't know, dude. I only know how to get on the For You page a lot and also a bunch. But I would just assume, probably like you did, comment a whole bunch. That way TikTok knows that you don't like it and you don't see me anymore. You probably also want to share, favorite, follow, these sorts of things. That way you never have to see me again.
On June 11th, 1938, Johnny Vandermeer threw a no-hitter against the Boston Bees. Just 4 days later, Vandermeer threw a second no-hitter, this time against the Dodgers. To this day, Vandermeer is still the only player in baseball history to throw 2 straight no-hitters.
When there's a shooting in the lobby of your apartment building, call management the next day and renew your lease. Be a man.
I'll level with you. I was playing poker with the guys. I lost $12 and knowing the way you feel about gambling. See, I was ashamed to tell you.
Where was you?
Now, just let me say this to you, that this whole evening is going to run a lot smoother if you just believe everything I say and then forget about it now. Come on, let's go to bed, huh?
Next to Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, the name of A.G. Spaulding is the most famous in American literature. It has been blazing forth on the cover of guides to all sorts of sports, upon bats and gloves for many years. Young America gets its knowledge of the past in the world of athletics from something that has Al Spaulding on it in big black letters, and for that reason, as much as any other, he is one of the national figures of our time. Boston Herald.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves clinging to a 3-1 lead. Back of the bullpen, Joe Jimenez comes in. First pitch on the way from JJ to Guerrero, who's 94 up top, first strike. It's 0-1. Now, I'm not a doctor, but hear me out. Is there any way we could take Luke Williams' knee and give it to Acuna? Because we need some offense, man. The 0-1 foul, back it's 0-2. And he can give it back to Luke next spring. The 0-2 count. Swing, lifts it into center field, coming in, making the running catches. Michael Harris the second. 75% of the earth is covered by water. The other 25 by Michael the Hawk Harris. He got a good jump on that one. Yeah, John, we'll get Luke's wrist to give it to, or I guess his arm to give it to Riley. First pitch on the way from Jimenez to Kirk is a slider down and away. It's a 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Right there, slider. Knee high, 1-1. A 1-1 count. The pitch. Slider down and away, 2-1. Kirk 1 for 3 with a single in the sixth. The 2-1. Slider outside wide, 3-1. Reds and Mets are still tied at 4. They're in the bottom of the ninth. New York batting. The 3-1. 93 on the intercut. 3-2. Good pitch. Would be Clement due up next unless they pinch hit for him. That closes the book on Max Fried, by the way. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. 1 walk, 5 hits. The 3-2 pops it up. High. Drifting over into foul territory is Matt Olson just past the first base bag. He'll make the catch. 2 away. That was no earned runs, too, by the way. If you joined us late, that was an error by Arcia that scored. The only good thing that came out of last night's game, last night's loss to Colorado, is we did get the rest for Jimenez and Iglesias. So if Jimenez can get through this, we would see Iglesias in the ninth. Or should, unless the Braves can somehow pad the lead, which would be much needed. As the first pitch to Clement is a P at the knees, 0-1. The 0-1 pops it up. High in the sky, drifting over, making the catch is Harris, and that'll end the inning. That's what you want. 3 up, 3 down. Let's get them some freaking runs, offense. Ozuna, Olson, and Eli White.
In 1970, the Cardinals signed a catcher out of high school named Randy Poffo. He played in the minors for the Cardinals and the Reds for 4 years before quitting baseball. He instead pursued professional wrestling, where he became the legendary Macho Man Randy Savage.
I can tell you my grandma had 4 babies at once. 4 at once? Yeah, they called them quadruplets. Yeah. And the doctor come up there to deliver the babies, and he had my grandpappy holding the lantern, and he said, "Here come the baby," and the baby come out, and then he held up the lantern. He said, "Hold up that lantern again. I think there's another." Sure enough, another baby come out. He said, "Hold that lantern up." I said, "I think there's another." And Grandpappy held it up, and here comes another. The 4th baby started to come. He said, "Hold that lantern up." Grandpappy said, "No, I think it's the light that's attracting them."
I'm a Sagittarius, which probably tells you way more than you need to know.
Yes, it tells us that you participate in the mass cultural delusion that the sun's apparent position relative to arbitrarily defined constellations at the time of your birth somehow affects your personality.
Albert Goodwill Spaulding, the sporting goods king, could look back on a long career in baseball. First, as a superb pitcher, then as a ruthless club owner, finally as the man who had made the game big business. But he still had one more service to perform. He was determined to prove that baseball was an exclusively American invention, the brainchild of some ingenious American lad. He appointed a commission to prove it, but 2 years of research turned up almost nothing. Then, in 1905, a letter arrived from a frail old man who claimed that General Abner Doubleday had invented baseball as a boy in Cooperstown, New York, one afternoon in 1839. It wasn't true. But it was just what Spalding had been looking. It proved, he said, that baseball truly was the national game. Played by Americans, watched by Americans, now invented by an American.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. We're here in the bottom of the 8th inning. By the way, the Mets have the winning run at second. They just stole second in the 9th. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is 93 inside for a ball. A strike. It's 0-1. Swanson, the new pitcher. The 0-1. Swing. That ball's ripped up the middle into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit, and your Atlanta Braves got one on, nobody out. They would normally pitch run for Big Zoo, but you got Eli. I guess maybe they could put Duvall or Laureano in. See what they do here. They may decide to keep Ozuna because of the threat of them going to extra innings. They don't want to lose his bat too. First pitch on the way to Olsen is a four-seam fastball on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Eric Swanson, your pitcher. He's been around the league for a while, 31-year-old. He's pitched in Seattle and Toronto his whole career. The 0-1, bang foul, it's 0-2. It's got a lifetime ERA of 4.10. This year it's 6.52. They are going to extra innings in the Big Apple. The 0-2, outside wide, 1-2. Reds and Mets, man, that would be great if Cincinnati could pull off that win. The Braves could hold on here. We get a little bit of breathing room, not much. We go up one game. The 1-2 to Olsen. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Chase that splitter off the edge. One away. One down, and that'll bring Eli White. I understand why they did it, but I would have liked to have seen Soler get one more at bat. Them coming up in the 8th. I mean, this can't be the recipe we go for if somehow we get into the postseason. You can't be pulling Jorge Soler out with just a 2-run lead in the postseason. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 94 four-seamer up in his kitchen. It's 0-1. Ozuna at first. Brings it. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Blowing it right by Eli. 0-2 count. Darno does stand on deck. The pitch from Swanson. Swing. Just got a piece of it. Lifts it foul. The 0-2. Swanson looks in, leans and gives it. 95 just misses up high. And I mean just. A little surprised he didn't get that call. He's been calling high pitches all night long. And then the one down the pipe was just unbelievable that we did not get the call on early in the game. The 1-2, pops it back foul. Four-seam up top again. We'll do it again. Braves 3, Blue Jays 1, bottom of the 8th inning. The 1-2 from Swanson. Swing and a miss, strike three. Chase the splitter inside. 2 away. I mean, it's almost at the point that if you're going to have Soler come out around the 6th or 7th inning, you can't really put him at the top of the order. Can you? Because you're kind of screwing up the whole batting order. It would have been better to have Darnode there at that position. First pitch on the way to Darnode is down and away. Did he go around? He did not. It's 1-0. And I know that's crazy to say, but if you're only going to give him a couple at bats, why in the world do we have him up so high? Because when you bring in an Eli White, he's not bringing anything to the party offensively. The 1-0. Swing! That ball's belted down the left field line, but mighty foul. What a loud out that was. That went into the upper deck on the third base side. Maybe halfway down the foul line. He smoked that but couldn't keep it straight. The 1-1 to Darnode. 93 up high, 2-1. If Darnode can keep it going, Kid Kelnick looms on deck. Braves 3, Jays 1. Bottom of the 8th. Swanson brings it. Swing, pops it over towards third base. It's going to die and quail into the glove of Clement, and that'll end the inning. Braves get one on, but can't get them across. We'll be back in a flash. We'll see if eyeglasses can slam that door shut.
My wife accused me of stealing her thesaurus. Not only was I shocked, I was appalled, aghast, and dismayed.
Things that I'm no longer interested in. Number 1, driving at night. Number 2, driving in winter. Number 3, getting on a scale. I don't like that anymore. And number 4, arguing with idiots. Number 5, being fashionable. Number 6, going to the gym. No use going to the gym anymore. I don't really care. Number 7, kale. Who likes kale? Number 8, wearing clothes that don't stretch. I need it. Number 9, counting carbs. And number 10, caring about what other people think of me.
Say something, a comment about the ref. Is it 20,000? It's a lot of money, eh? So I should not do it. I save my money, I gotta pay for diapers.
Crazy stats. Hank Aaron wore number 44 in 20 of his 21 seasons with the Braves. In the first season after his death, the Braves won 44 games before the All-Star break, 44 games after the All-Star break, and then won the World Series in the 44th week of the year.
We need Doubleday because as a culture we have to have origin myths. Now, baseball has no point of origin. It evolved. We know that. So they set up a commission, and they ginned up this absurd story about Abner Doubleday, who, as one writer said, probably didn't know a baseball from a kumquat, but he did fire the first responsive Union volley at Fort Sumter, and he did briefly command the troops at Gettysburg. So to have an American hero as the originator of the game seemed very appropriate indeed. It's total mythology. In fact, there is no single point of origin.
Let's not try to find a starting place for baseball. Let's consider it to be the Darwinian product of centuries of movement of people and continents and oceans, and something rising from the sea and then turning eventually after years of evolution into Barry Bonds.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves need 3 more outs to put this one in the books, clinging to a 3-1 lead. Atlanta scored all 3 of their runs. We've heard this song before. All 3 of the runs early on in the second inning. And the funny thing is, the ball that Olsen hit for the out number 3 when he swung at the first pitch that he really shouldn't have been swinging earlier, that didn't miss a grand slam by much. First pitch on the way to Wagner is chopped foul towards the first base dugout of your Atlanta Braves. It's 0-1. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for the Blue Jays. 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Atlanta Braves. The 0-1 from Iglesias, swing and a miss, change up, 0-2. As much as Ozuna has been our MVP offensively this year as the 0-2. Swatted back foul. We'll do it again. And Chris Sale has been the MVP of the rotation. You can make an argument that Iglesias might have been the most valuable of all. He has been unbelievable this year. The 0-2 from Eyeglasses. 94 misses high and wide, 1-2. The 1-2. 95, ips high, got him, strike 3. You talk about freezing them. 1 away. I think he was sitting on something. He was probably looking for that changeup outside. He came up with 95 hot cheese in the corner, and he could not budge 1 inch. Horowitz will come on to pinch hit from the left side of the plate for Jimenez. Spencer Horowitz, left-handed batter with a .260 batting average, of .770 OPS, 9 home runs and 262 at-bats. The 1-0, P at the knees, 1-1. Horowitz, drafted in 2019, the 1-1 is swatted back foul, 1-2. He was drafted by the Blue Jays in the 24th round, back when we had 24 rounds in the draft, out of Radford. Came up, played sparingly last year, and has played in 77 games this year. The 1-2. Caught, looking, strike 3. 96 on the inner paint. 2 away. Man, oh man alive. That was nasty. For those who are not watching, that ball had 2-seam type movement at 96 miles an hour. It started on the inner part and slapped over into the paint, and that's why the batter was frozen. Because from his vantage point, it probably looked like a ball. First pitch on the way, swung on, lifted into left field. Eli White dives for it and shows that he has the ball. He does not have the ball, and the runner's going to be safe at second. Eli thought he made the catch. It popped out of his glove. He turned around, realized the ball was behind him. Good Lord, was that close. It was almost a game ender. He wasn't really that close to making the catch. He was close to trapping it. It's funny because Iglesias thought he'd made the catch, and he was about to congratulate him. Then he starts pointing, say, hey, the ball's behind you. First pitch on the way, swung on, chopped over towards right field. Here comes the runner. The throw will be cut off, and just like that, they've got the go-ahead run coming to the plate. 2 hard-hit balls into right field, and that's going to bring the top of the order. That kid Luke's once again, 2 hits on the night. That'll raise his batting average to .467. Where do they grow those things on trees at, right? 30-year-old coming up for his first time. He's hitting .467, and I believe that would be 15 or 16 at-bats for his career now. 15. George Springer, first pitch, swing and a miss slider. It's 0-1. It's the first time in a long time you can remember Iglesias really having ducks on the pond. The 0-1 to Springer. Varsho on deck. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider. 0-2. So he's going slider. Does he stay with that, or does he go with his patented changeup? You got an 0-2 count. Game on the line. Crowd at their feet. Here's the pitch. 1-2. Once again, 2 on, 2 out. Tying run at first. The go-ahead run at the plate. Here's the pitch. Eyeglasses brings it. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Braves win. Braves win. Your Atlanta Braves win. Whiskey for my men. Beer for my horses. Your Atlanta Braves one, 3-1. Iglesias, eyeglasses, gets his 31st save of the year. And Max Fried will go over 500 at 9-8. Gausman will take the loss at 12-11. And game ball, I think you got to give it to Mad Max. The offense really didn't do a whole hell of a lot. 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. 1 run, 7 hits, 1 error. And the same 2 teams are back at it tomorrow night. Hopefully we can wake up this offense. Someone said to me today, I was talking about the Braves woes. They know what I do at night. And they said, well, the games are going quickly. I guess you get better sleep. I was like, if you think I get a good night's sleep when you watch this offense night after night, you're crazy. Braves win. Game ball, Max Fried. Woo. And now we pull for the Reds, who are in a pickle in the bottom of the 10th inning. I think they might have. I think they just hit a walk-off. They did. Mets just won it. Can't make out who that is. Vientos just hit a home run. Reds spent the bets. The Reds, you can't expect the Reds to win in New York. I mean, it's not a good baseball team. So hopefully they'll get 1 or 2. One this weekend against the Mets. But we stay even, Steven. We win by 2. The Mets win by 2. We're all flat-footed again tomorrow night. Spencer Schmaltz. "7:15" by DM McGee, 2024. At 7:14, while enduring the hate, he carried the ghosts and stepped to the plate, echoing down from the great Yankee lore. The Bambino's Shadow larger from days of before. Henry brushed back the pressure that loomed. Threats from fanatics, knowing records were doomed. Into the box, and here comes the pitch. 7:15, it flipped like a switch. Fans escorted 44 round the bases. Hammer and Hank lit up their faces with smiles that unite as he wiped away tears. He hugged Mama tight for so many years. The Hammer had climbed the ladder to the top. A sigh of relief. Briefly, time stopped. We recall and rewind the impossible dream. That night down in Georgia of 7:15. 7:15 by D.M. Magee, 2024.
You're in Braves country.